in the Masters, joined by a number of African-American professionals. But Lee Elder was the starter, and we're underway at Augusta. Good morning to you. We're underway on the opening drive on a Thursday. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Masters Thursday. I maybe not on everybody's calendar, but on mine it's one of those days that I look forward to as well. There's opening day. We've had them all kind of right in a row, right? Opening day, the beginning of the NCAA tournament for me, and I know some of you, the Masters. What's up, man? How you living?
Living good. Absolutely nice to be in a more traditional sports calendar with what we're so used to, hitting the NCAA tournament. Hello, friends. Back to the Masters. A phenomenal week. Stoked for this weekend because, boy, is there so much going on locally as well. And just can't wait to dive into it all.
85th Masters is underway, and everything that's going on locally with the state volleyball championship or soccer championships and high school basketball and everything that's going on. Warren Schaefer, the Isotopes manager, met with the media yesterday. It was good to kind of get a glimpse of what's. I don't know if we have a glimpse of what's going on. He didn't really share anything in regards to what's going on with the roster. Really, it was well, I've been sitting here and I'm ready to go session, right? The guys are ready to go. I think he knows who's going to be on the roster, but we'll get there. News out of college basketball, NBA, and everything, all of those things along the line. So we got all kinds of stuff for you today. We're here for you at 505-246-0610. That's how you can get a hold of us. Bobcat will take your call there. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the Twitter, follow JJ. It's _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, the OD and the AM. You can watch the show there, courtesy of ProView Networks. I'm going to assume it's Aaron. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So you get all your team done. Did you do any DraftKings or anything along those lines in regards to the Masters?
Yeah, I have a couple daily fantasy lineups going on for the tournament, and the challenge there is finding that lower price guy. Who's going to be the player no one is on, that's not a big name, that has a good tournament, that helps you succeed, because that's the difference on weekends like this.
Yeah, I'll find mine for you because I went with a couple. Well, here I got them. Where are they? So I did. Didn't Aaron take Joaquin Neiman?
Did.
On one of them? Oh wait, that's his thing. Where the heck is it? I'll find it for you. Because I got three lineups that I played on the DraftKings, and I think one of them I went with Munoz. I kind of had a feeling. I think I took Brendan Todd on another one, and yes, you're right. You know who's going to make that top 20 and kind of help you. You got to have the winner if you're going to do well there, and then what? You know, then who's it going to be, right?
Yeah, no, it's. Early, there's maybe 10 golfers on the
just
course.
Started.
So we got some time to see how it bounces out. But anytime you see someone like, Dylan Fratelli +2 after 3,
that sucks.
It's a little bit of a bummer because
I'm
one of those guys a lot of people were talking about in the back end.
Well, I'm looking at one of my lineups: Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, Jordan Spieth, and then Dylan Fratelli, Munoz, and Cameron Champ. Right? Damn it. 2 over early doesn't help me. But that's I guess that's just how it is. It's just how it is. All right. Lots going on. Kevin Durant was back last night. We'll get there. Sean Miller finally got fired at Arizona yesterday. I don't know how anybody. I read some people. I'm surprised by that. How are you surprised by that? Like what? How does? I think the surprise is how did it not happen earlier? They weren't very good last year. It's got to be harder to recruit. It's got to be harder to recruit with all these. God, is it fair to say what clouds? What do you call it? All these everything hanging over your program.
But they're the only school that is doing something about that right now. So with you as you said, the surprise was they didn't do this earlier. And so you're sitting there just waiting all right, what's the plan now at this point in the cycle?
Well, okay, the plan is to move forward. I told you I think Luke Walton, and I think I told you this, last summer? I think Luke Walton is perfect for that. He's had his run. You think he's getting fired in Sacramento any day now, right? I mean, I think you told me that a month and a half ago. Luke Walton feels like a good fit there. Oh, feels to me better than Damon Stoudemire. I know a lot of people like Damon Stoudemire, the head coach of Pacific, for that job. I think he was the Big West Coach of the Year before they joined the where they're not in the Big West anymore. They're in the West Coast Conference now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what took so long? Why? And I'll tell you, for one thing that I've heard, and this could be the biggest thing. The boosters still really backed him, and there was a lot of the money that was coming into the program that still really, really backed Sean Miller. They liked winning. They liked Sean Miller. They liked the access that they had, and a lot of the big. And if you know anything about an athletic department, any athletic department, and whatever level it is, and people will tell you if it's my $2,000, if it's my $2 million. If you do that, I'm out. I'm not giving you my money, and I'm not giving it my money until this guy's gone or whatever. We've heard that around here, plenty of different fashions, right? Whether it's I'm not whether it's an athletic director, it's a coach, whatever it is. And you'd like to sit here and say it can't matter if you're the AD. You got to do the right thing, but at some point, how much money are we talking about, and how much does it matter? And that's one of the biggest things I heard there was the fan base was really, really still behind him, and there was a lot of pressure there.
Yeah, and that's definitely always a challenge in these situations is the boosters and the money people outside of the athletic department that always want to have a hand in everything that's going on. But look at the Sean Miller situation, and you can't convince me that now there's just too much smoke, there's too much uncertainty. Because Kansas just gave Bill Self a lifetime contract.
Lifetime.
It's pretty much like throwing two fingers up at the NCAA. It's like, yeah, you really going to do something about this? No, you're not. So we got this dude on a 5-year cycle just continually renewing contract. Will Wade, same way, keeps it rolling at LSU. Miller, this, I think, was straight down the performance as well. And then you can look at it and go, oh, by the way, the NCAA stuff, which you didn't care about a few years ago. So now it's just more 12 years, long time, not getting the results you need, and then you can start pointing to other stuff. You move on, but it is interesting to see where they go at this point in time. And, yeah, I thought Luke Walton was going to be fired. It looks like at least he's going to ride out the remainder of this season. And if you're Arizona, are you able to go that long without making a move at
No. I mean, that's what, till April? Well, I guess this is April, isn't it? When's the? Are we on a regular NBA? Are we on a regular NBA calendar? No, we're not. When does the regular season in the NBA?
So you're looking at least not until into June, like early June.
I don't know that you can do that, can you? I mean, you can. I don't know that you want to. Trying to keep recruits around, and they've got a pretty decent recruiting class. It's not great, but they've got a team that probably was top 25 coming back next year. So you've got to re-recruit. You know how college basketball is. Your whole roster. I think within the next 2 weeks you got to have this thing figured out, especially because of all the turmoil, right? It's not just Sean Miller's gone. You're still going to be dealing at some point with what remains of the mess that was there. Who gets to clean this up, and what is it going to be to clean up? Does that make sense?
It does. And to looking into it, it was more of the fact that they didn't want to re-up the guy. As you mentioned, he only had 1 year remaining on his contract with everything that has been going on. So this was kind of finally the university's way out of this challenging situation for them. But given just the timing of it all, there's, like you said, there's always coaches out there. But I don't know what the big name you mentioned, Damon Stoudemire, potentially Luke Walton. Stoudemire's a guy that you don't have to wait on. Luke Walton, you're going to have to wait a little bit. It would be interesting to see because that's a program you keep looking at and you're just waiting for that to pop one more time. You're just waiting for Arizona.
Yeah, the other thing is, we always have these conversations about the family, and no matter where it is, whether it's Carolina, who just hired Hubert Davis, or Indiana, who went with Mike Woodson, or New Mexico for that matter. What about the family guys? So they have to be affiliated with the program, and I don't know that Sean Miller was. In fact, I don't think he was before he went there. This job's interesting because it's a traditionally good job, but who takes it? because with all of the mess that's going on there, you got to believe something's coming down on them, right? Something's going to happen to them. I don't know how, as much as you sit there and tell me that, and you're right, that Kansas should put two fingers in the air and said, we don't care. And by the way, I'm pretty sure in Bill Self's lifetime agreement, it says he can't be fired for any, I don't know what the wording is, but any current allegations. Basically saying, bleep this. Now, if something else happens later, that's fine. But anything that's going on now, you can't be fired for.
It has that feel of a preemptive pardon for Bill Self.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So who goes? The athletic director there is Dave Heek, and he said, we're evaluating the overall position of the program, and that includes on-court and off-court elements. When you step back and evaluate where the program is, we have incredibly high standards to have success on and off the court. We've evaluated it, and we decided at this time it's the appropriate time to make a change so we can restore and rebuild the overall status of this world-class basketball program, end quote. It is a world-class basketball program. And what Lute Olson built there was unbelievable. And Sean Miller continued to win at a pretty good clip. Now, when his assistants were no longer there and allegedly couldn't recruit the way they were recruiting illegally, then all of a sudden the recruiting took a step back, right? And here they were, and this Pac-12 had this great run in the NCAA tournament this year, and they weren't one of the 5 teams who were invited. So we'll talk more about what's going on at Arizona and what they do and why did it take so long to get to where we are, because I think with all the press that's been on this thing, with everything that's been said, with the HBO special, with everything else, I mean, you basically have the smoking gun, right? The dude was right there telling you everything that happened. The money guy. But Sean Miller made it. 505-246-0610. We'll give you Masters updates, obviously, the whole time as we go through and give you leaderboards as guys begin to tee it off at Augusta. Fellas, you're sitting around watching golf, playing golf, running, doing whatever it is you do, but I want to give you a few truths as you go through your day. As men age, things like fatigue, hair loss, low T, they're natural. Very good chance it's going to happen to you. Nothing to be embarrassed about, but there is something that you can do to battle nature and feel like you again. And if you're experiencing these things, you're regularly tired, maybe you're carrying a few extra pounds, you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, I suggest you call New Male. New Male has led the way in helping men deal with these issues for years. Their testosterone replacement utilizes the latest cutting-edge technology, and men all over the country have benefited from it, and they feel better. The number is 505-652-1688, or you can visit Numale, that's NUMALE.com. Fellas, Numale is convenient. It's right here in Albuquerque. The process is comfortable. It starts with your first phone call, goes all the way through the treatment. Numale will be there to guide you through the process, but the best part of this whole thing is the results are absolutely real. 505-652-1688. Gentlemen, don't put it off. Take care of you. Visit Numale.com or call 505-652-1688 and feel better.
Crisp and they look good. Here's Wade in transition.
Hey!
He's gonna flush it home.
Well, for a 2021 Bowl Series here at University Stadium. Short kickoff. Fielded about the 20.
Oh,
Gonzalez got
yeah.
a big gap up the middle,
Big
one man
gap.
to beat. Let's see if beats Contreras.
He's got it.
Gonzalez will return it 80 yards for a touchdown. And it was just a matter of time before he found a crease.
It's a privilege, it's not a right, and I think these kids have found that out.
Winters on the quarterback
He's
option.
gonna have it.
Will break it up the middle for a touchdown.
Good job.
36-yard touchdown run by Juan Fuentes. Following.
Oliveras to make the drive inside, trying to turn it around, draws contact, puts it up, count it, and one opportunity upcoming for Oliveras.
Yeah, they're.
Winters back to pass, getting some pressure.
Oh, wide
Link
open.
to Greathouse. Greathouse might go 50, 45, 40, 30. One man to beats. Fine, no. Breaks out of that tackle. Tight ropes the sideline. Touchdown. Touchdown for Peyton Greathouse.
No.
On a turnover again, Hobnet, they got numbers. Canton. Oh, and the throwdown. Cut off. Ortiz going to take the deep three. Ortiz nails the three-point shot. Time out. Volcano Vista. Cougars take a 49-47 lead. 3-point.
Swafford is your very, very early leader. In Augusta, he is 2 under through 6 holes. Matt Jones will have a birdie putt on 5. He is 1 under along with Stuart Sink. Those are the only 3 golfers who are under par early on the golf course. Only 17 golfers are out. Dylan Fratelli, +2. And he's going to struggle to get up and down here on 5. JJ, him and Sebastian Munoz. Munoz is +1, Fratelli +2. Those are kind of 2 of my guys. There's Brendan Todd at even. So, as you go down and you have to fill out with your $6,200 salary, and you got a couple guys you got to fill out that roster with. That's it's early, right? It's early. We can turn these things around.
We've played like 4 holes. It's all right. We'll see what happens. See how the course is playing today.
We'll watch this thing play out. All right, I want to finish up on the, and I don't know if we're going to finish on the Sean Miller thing, but just continue that conversation. And the NCAA has charged Arizona with what they call a level 1 violation, or level 1 violations plural, actually. There was a notice of allegations that was released last month. The program was hit with 2 alleged instances of academic misconduct, and Sean Miller, the former coach now, was charged for not demonstrating that he promoted an atmosphere of compliance and monitored his staff. And so I think the uncertainty is this a job? It's a job that will pay, JJ. It's a high-profile Pac-12 job. But are you going in there? Arizona has self-imposed a 1-year postseason ban. So they weren't eligible this season for the NCAA, and I think we all went, oh, isn't that cute, right? I mean, unless you're a Wildcat fan. Arizona had been considering, by a number of sources, a contract extension for Sean Miller. So they were really considering keeping him around, kind of the Bill Self thing, not a lifetime deal at Kansas, but a contract extension. But the Regents would not approve it because of the NCAA issues, which you hear all the time. There's a disconnect between campus and the Regents and whatever. But it just makes sense. The president of the university is Robert Robbins. Quote, after conferring with Dave Heek, the athletic director, since season's end, it's become clear that our men's basketball program in our university needs to write a new chapter in our history, and that begins with a change of leadership. He said, Arizona basketball means so much to so many. As stewards of the program, we must always act in the best interest of the university. I believe our future is bright, and I look forward to welcoming a new head coach to the Wildcat family, end quote. So I'm really, 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 really struggling with why now. And is it just down to JJ? There was just 1 year left on his contract, and you had to make a move. It was either we had to resign him because you can't let a coach go into that lame duck last year, and so we had to go one way or another now. Is that what the trigger was here?
Yeah, it definitely sounds like there was enough uncertainty with enough decision makers regarding the NCAA situation to not move forward in it, and kind of allowed them to really say, all right, this is going to be our out. This is our way forward, moving away from that storm, those clouds of speculation from the NCAA. And at this point in time, if you're Arizona, I still think it's a good job for anyone to take over, even if they do have to go through some sanctions, because what are those going to be? Like, it's Like, there's nothing new coming out about these investigations. Like, we know what happened. We know what's been reported. It's out there. You said there's been criminal investigation done on this. So I don't know what the NCAA is waiting for. I don't know what the process is. If this is just the way it is, it's going to take 3-4 years for them to make a decision on things. So if you're Arizona moving forward, you can kind of feel like, all right, we cleaned our hands of Sean Miller. But if you're going to go in there and take that job, even if there's sanctions looming, it feels like the Wildcats job, especially for plenty of coaches, is still one that you're going to go in there and go, okay, maybe I'll eat this for a year or two, but this is still a good enough place, strong enough place to where you can get players in there to win at a high level.
Yeah, I think that's correct. But when? Because the one thing I'm not sure I'm totally on board with you on is when you say, what are those sanctions going to be? And I think the answer is I just flat out don't know, and I don't know how you can. And when. It feels like this has been handled, and I got to believe the NCAA, and I know people are laughing. Of course, Jeff, it's scattered at the NCAA. It just scattered and with no time frame on it. And I'm sure there's somebody who's got their case file, and there's an investigator, and he's working on it, and it takes whatever. But at some point, do you not expect something to come down that you think it's going to be, all right, you guys slapped yourself on the wrist in that COVID season, and you self-imposed violations, and that's cool. All right, you got a new coach, get back to it. Like, you think that's going to be all they get?
I don't think that's going to be all they get, but what is the NCAA waiting for? Is there something we don't know about these investigations?
Well, that's the whole thing. I don't get it. That's with them, with Kansas. Tony Bland at USC was caught up in the middle of it. And there was USC in the Elite Eight.
LSU was one of those teams, and by the way, Oklahoma State did the same thing. They were like, oh, we'll look at this year and self-impose a ban. And then the number one player in the country selects them, Cade Cunningham, and they're like, you know what? We're actually going to challenge this, and we're going to play in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and do something to us. What are you going to do to us? And it's really, that's what it's become. And so that's what I'm going to guess that this job's attractive, and whoever goes in and says all the right things. The big name that's not in the Arizona family is Tommy Lloyd, who's been the assistant coach at Gonzaga. Is that the guy that Dennis Patchen was telling us about the other day that's kind of in line if Mark Few ever leaves?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Mark Few's probably not leaving for another 10 years. And so if a job like Arizona comes up, I would imagine that Tommy Lloyd would take that gig. And he's on a lot of names, or a lot of lists. Miles Simon is another guy with Arizona ties. He's a Lakers assistant. Josh Pastner, the Georgia Tech coach, is up there. Mark Pope has been linked to this job. He was at Utah Valley. Now he's at BYU. Eric Musselman's name is out there, but isn't it for every single job? When it comes down to it, I know I've asked a lot of questions. I think it's attractive. I think somebody will take this job. Now, it feels to me that it's going to be kind of I love this place, and I'm taking it, and I'm going to go through everything that's involved kind of a job, because I do think there's going to be some hurdles to climb. But maybe not, man. To your point, maybe there's nothing there. Maybe the NCAA just doesn't do anything about it and says, go knock yourself out, and you got rid of the coach after 5 years of this going on, and go do your thing. I just can't see that. Can you?
To me, it's more possible than not at this point in time. Just because it's, okay. I don't know what is the NCAA waiting for? How many notices of allegations do they have to submit? Like, does it really take them this long to sort through it? Yes, it's been a crazy year. There's been a lot of stuff going on, but that's also part of your job as a governing body to figure this stuff out. And all these schools are just kind of looking at you going, yeah, we don't think you're going to do anything or really care about this, so we're just going to move on.
Yeah, all right. You think they go in the family? You think it's a Damon Stoudemire, a Luke Walton, a Miles Simon, or do they go outside?
I think at this point, when you wait, what is it? It's April 8th, and so this came out yesterday. So late in the hire, and we had so many names already bounce around in these coaching searches that I think they would be fine waiting and seeing what happens with Miles Simon. Is he still on the Lakers staff, or
yeah?
I don't know.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Simon, an NBA assistant, Luke Walton, if something happens after the season, with Sacramento on trying to making a move like that.
All right, 505-246-0610. Would love to hear your thoughts on it. 888-922-0610. We'll get into some Lobo football next. Boy, when Danny Gonzalez says, right, let's go play anyone. This will be 2 in 1 year. 2 big paydays in 1 year. And 2 big houses that they're going to play in. It's next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is brought.
Ortiz nails the three-point shot. Time out. Volcano Vista Cougars take a 49-47 lead. 3.3 seconds left.
Just like that. You're at the 1 yard line.
Looking over the middle. Intercepted. It's intercepted. And going down the left sideline, might take it to a house call. 1 man to beat, cuts it back inside at the 5. 10, 1 man to beat again. Cuts it back at the 5, touchdown. Interception in the return.
Who was that?
By number 8, Isaac Henson, who's already scored an offensive touchdown.
11-4 game, 4.9 seconds to go in the first quarter. Bring up the court, Mays going inside, drawing contact, and one opportunity.
An attack. Oh, that's a great inbound play. Lavato puts it up, blocked beautifully by Heckrop. Blocked beautifully. Shot at the buzzer's up, and it's good. It's good by number 5, Devin Domino Lovato for 3. That will count.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
A while ago.
If you want
2007. You define a while. No one thought Appalachian State would beat fifth-ranked Michigan in 2007. By 2025, the text I just received says we will be competitive against those schools and good enough to beat them. I love it. He says, or I won't be the coach. How about that text I just got, huh? I love it. It's the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Lobos are going to open the season at the Big House, August 30th, 2025. You want to make a roadie? Should we do the show there for Friday before? Get over there on Thursday, and we'll hang out with Rudy's old buddies or something at the old law frat house or whatever it was?
That sounds like an
Ann
awesome
Arbor?
plan.
Yeah. You ever been to a game there?
I have never been to a quote-unquote power conference football game.
All right, that's a spot. Now, this will be August 30th, 2025. UNM will get $1.8 million, and they will go play. It'll be 3 installments, and it'll start. The installments will start next calendar year, and they will play Michigan on the 13th. So 2 weeks after that, they will play at UCLA at the Rose Bowl, and Danny says they'll be competitive. I think they'll be competitive. I mean, can they win that game? Hell, again, to his point, did Appalachian State? Did anybody give I remember watching that day. I was married at the time. I was at my father-in-law's house. We were out in Santa Rosa, and watching this thing go down, and my mouth was agape, just wide open. What the hell is going on here? Appalachian State. Now Appalachian State's become a pretty good football team. They've tickled in and out of the top 25 and a pretty good football team. I like this. I got no problem with this. These games are what they are. I'm going to assume, JJ, is that a Hawaii year? A league game year they go to Hawaii and play 13 games?
I have no idea if it's a Hawaii year or not. But yeah, usually we know. I think the ideal Lobo schedule, as we've seen it played out, you get your money game, your rivalry game, your 50-50 game, and then your FCS opener. But in this case, you're going to have two big-time games that season, and you love the attitude, man. It's Danny Gonzalez. That's who he is. He's not going to shy away from anyone. He's going to put it out there and saying, well, if we can't compete, then that comes back on me. But I expect to be playing high-level football, and who knows what it's going to look like in 4 years. You're hoping it looks pretty good, at least, strong football team in the Mountain West, and then an opportunity to just take the field in one of the most iconic college football venues in the country.
Here's your money games coming up this coming year at Texas A&M. You'll get paid $1.1 million. Go to LSU in 2022, get 1.6. Back to A&M the following year, 1.6. Auburn in 2024, 1.9 million. That 2025 year we're talking about will be the Michigan game for 1.8 and UCLA for 1.2. Oklahoma the following year, 1.6. Oregon State, and then A&M the following year, and then Oregon State. So look, this is part of the way this has to be done. And go be competitive. And if nothing else, man, Lobo fan, you got some road trips. You get to go to College Station. You get to go to see a game at LSU. I'm going to guess it'll be a night game, although I don't know why I would guess that. It could be a noon start. You get to go to Auburn. You get to go to the Big House. You can go to the Rose Bowl. You can go to OU. Corvallis is beautiful. You got a lot of good trips to go on too. Rudy, so where do we get to go? You going to host everybody on this trip? We're going to go hang out. Will that be your trip that year with your old law school buddies?
Oh yeah, we've already talked about it. But one of my friends lives in Ann Arbor, and he happens to have a membership to the Ann Arbor Golf and Outing Club, which means that we'll probably get the tailgate right across from the stadium. If you've ever been to Michigan, there's no parking, and there's 100,000 people. So if you don't have a place to tailgate, it can get really dicey. A lot of people pick up some of their budget for the year by letting people park on their lawns. It's really quite a scene. Literally thousands of people walking to the game, going by the student housing, and there's more parties than you can shake a stick at. The festivities basically start on Thursday afternoon.
See, Rudy, I don't know that this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work then. I mean, if Lobo fan cannot park in the lot adjacent to the stadium for free and show up 10 minutes before the game, they're not going. This isn't going to work, Rudy.
Well, you know what? This will be an education, and it'll show you the lengths that people go to grab a little piece of curb just to be part of the scene. So, yeah, we're going to plan something, and I want you guys to come out because there's really nothing like the Big House. It's basically the pit outdoors. All the seats go down to the field. You're totally surrounded. There's a tunnel that the team has to walk down to get to the field, and both teams enter from the same tunnel. So that's made for some interesting times in the tunnel. But as you're walking down the tunnel, you see, all the history of Michigan football. There's the Tom Brady wall. There's the Bo Schembechler wall. There's all their Big Ten championships lined up. So it's quite intimidating, but it's also funny because New Mexico is the quote-unquote son of Michigan football. You know this, right?
I do not know this.
Okay, so Roy Johnson played for Fielding Yost. He was part of the Michigan football program.
Roy Johnson,
and if
Johnson
you look
Fields.
very closely, you'll see the NM looks a lot like the Block M for Michigan. So Roy came here, and he was our first athletic director, first football coach, and basically that's why we ended up named the Lobos, the Wolverines. So we're kind of the sons of Bo, so to speak, the sons of Michigan. So it'll be really interesting, and I'm pretty stoked. Eddie called me before the announcement, And he and Ward Manuel are friends, the athletic director at Michigan. So, you know, if you want to be the best, you play the best, right?
I love this. So let me tell you, I did a big trip back in 90, whatever. And we did a Labor Day trip. I did 2 Cubs games, a day game and a night game at Wrigley Field. Went up and saw the Big House on Saturday. Watched Washington State open the season against Michigan. Did the Red Sox or did the Packers and Rams in Milwaukee on Sunday, and then the Red Sox and White Sox at Comiskey on Monday. But as we were at your place, at the Big House, I'm calling it your place. So unbelievable scene, right? The party scene, everything that you talk about. It was so wonderful. And so we were about 4 seats in on the aisle, and the dude on the aisle. Obviously, those were his seats forever. He was very well hydrated and was not going to get up. JJ, they come prepared. So this gentleman had a funnel to relieve himself. So it was basically a funnel that was like a gallon water jug or milk jug that he cut off, and it had a Michigan State sticker onto which he was urinating in his seat because he was not going to get up and miss any of it. And Rudy, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think this thing was going into the jug. It was going. It was just flowing right down the stairs, down the stadium.
Probably. I've seen it all. The medical students at Michigan when I was there would catheterize themselves so they didn't have to get up and leave. So anything to not have to miss a play, I guess. I wasn't quite that ambitious. I figured, you know, I can get to the restroom and be a human being about it.
Yes.
But you see all kinds of things at the Ohio State game, especially because people are just packed in there. But I'm really excited about it, and what I'm really excited about is I think by 2025 we'll have a program that can get on the field with Michigan. I think it's going to start this year. I'm really excited about what Danny's doing and the type of attitude, the can-do attitude that he's bringing to Lobo football.
So let me make sure I understand this. Is this an invite from you for us to come hang out and do our show there and play golf and roll with your buddies?
Absolutely, yeah. We'll make arrangements, and you know, hopefully everybody's still around. I mean, this is more important than ever to take care of yourself, right? Because that's 5 years away.
4 years away.
4 years away. 4 years away.
All right.
But it'll be a quick 4 years. I can't wait. And yeah, let's go out there and have a party. Ann Arbor style. You know, I was social chairman in my 3rd year of law school, so I know a few people still.
I know. I got a guy. All right. Well, now I got a guy.
All
right. Good to hear you.
Thanks. Appreciate the time.
JJ, so I look over. You know, you're packed in, right? 104, 108, whatever it was, and it was everything that I'd heard about, and so you're packed in, and we're pretty hydrated too now at this point. And the dude on the end had this device that he had made. And it was basically a cutout water jug funnel with a Michigan State sticker, and he wasn't getting up, man. He was while everybody was cheering and standing, he was emptying himself right there. It was unbelievable.
For the love of football.
For the love of football. Yeah, that was. I think I told you about that trip. It was Labor Day, and so we flew out. I was in Washington State still. Cubs and Mets at Wrigley Field Thursday night. Did Rush Street, the deep dish pizza, the whole thing. Had to do a day game at Wrigley Field. Cubs and Mets at Wrigley Field went out, did the Murphy's Bleachers thing, the Cubby Bear, all that whole thing at Wrigley Field. And drank a bunch of old style, and then drove up to Ann Arbor. And I can't remember if we drew Friday night or Saturday, but Saturday, Washington State, Michigan opened the football season at the Big House. Came back to Chicago that night, and that's when the Packers still played a few games at Old County Stadium in Milwaukee. The Rams and Packers that tailgating scene, as good as Michigan was, the tailgating scene for a Packers game, and it wasn't even Lambeau. It was at County Stadium in Milwaukee. Was the best, most friendly people. I got so many stories from that, and then came back and did the day game on Labor Day. Red Sox, White Sox at Comiskey, and took the night flight out. It was. You can't do that anymore. Now that you're married, your wife's going to go, yeah, you're not going to 5 games in 5 days. Like, what are you doing, right?
Well, I'm looking for the opportunity to get back to one.
One would be good. Yeah, one would be good. The other Lobo news, the MRIs on Isaiah Chavez's elbow, right? Danny was saying he had the elbow issue. Will not require surgery. He will be reevaluated in a few weeks, and Danny's hoping that he can be back when they get started up again and get into conditioning. Elijah Queen also, the wide receiver, will not need surgery. Good news on Isaiah, because Danny certainly looked legitimately concerned when he was talking about it on Saturday after the spring game.
Yeah, especially just when there's the unknown of the tendon, the ligament injuries, and all you can do is wait for an MRI to confirm, or in this case show you that surgery is not needed. And that's awesome, because QB5 is going to be a big part of this program moving forward. We're all assuming, yes, Terry Wilson's going to be the starting quarterback for New Mexico next year, but still what Isaiah Chavez means to this team, what he did last year, his ability to continue to get better, provide depth, and compete in the coming years, very important for this program.
All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Your emails, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. We'll get you a Masters update when we come back.
And let me tell you about F45 training. It's high-intensity circuit training in 45 minutes, so you're not going to need to be worried about wondering, am I going to be able to go to the restroom? Nope, you're just focused on 45 minutes of your workout. New classes throughout the week to keep your mind and body moving forward. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's quarterback is what they call the class. It's agility, resistance, and power-based cardio movements. And then you have your classics like your 60-minute Hollywood workout on Saturday, which combines everything you do throughout the week, the best of the strength, cardio, agility, speed, and power movements that you do at F45. The classes are a lot of fun. Check them out at f45training.com and download the F45 app. On the app, you can sign up for your 7-day free trial while you take a look at the schedule of classes. Classes are available 7 days a week. Certified trainers at every class to help not only motivate you, but if you need to modify a movement or need some help with an exercise, they are right there, and all the trainers have been super awesome, and it adds to the atmosphere, a great atmosphere in the gym. Of course, still focus on being clean. They have wipes with you. You can wipe down your kettlebells, your dumbbells, things just quickly in between your sets, because the thing with F45 training is there's no waste of time. You're talking like sometimes just 10 seconds between sets, 30 seconds between movements. So you're going, you're focused, and the thing with the trainers and the gym focusing on keeping clean is you can just lock in to getting the best workout you can in 45 minutes. Whether you're looking to kickstart your fitness, challenge yourself to get to another level, F45 training is the place for you, and it's definitely the boost that I've needed to reignite that passion of going, all right, I need to care about myself more and my health as of what we were doing, masking up, etc. But now it's about bettering myself right now at F45. So check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradies.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Art Sandoval in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Meet Greg Shamus. He's a State Farm agent, which means he's here to help with all this. But it's easier to just remember he's here to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Greg Shamus at 505-898-3648 today.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Extreme Clean is a proud
and AM 610, the sports animal.
All right, back up on the ProView for me anyway. You guys were up the whole time. Me, just having issues. Here, let's move that over a little bit like that. All right, let me give you a leaderboard. Hudson Swafford. I know you all have him on your fantasy golf team. Hudson Swafford, 2 under par. He's played 8 holes at the Masters. Matt Jones, Siwoo Kim, and your buddy Charles Schwartzel are all 1 under. Those are the only guys under par, 4 of them out of the 23 who are on the golf course. Other names that are out there, Henrik Stenson, even par after 4. Will Zalatoris was another guy really looked at, JJ. He's even par after 3. Corey Connors +1. Joaquin Neiman, I believe, is on Aaron's team +1. Former champion Danny Willett +1 after 1. Sebastian Munoz +2 after 5. And my guy, we're in Oakley, Dylan Fratelli +4 after 7. Talked to Nick Nee yesterday. I got to believe that's going to be starting up maybe as soon as tomorrow. I'm not sure, but you know what? It's probably worth getting Nick on tomorrow, one way or the other, don't you think?
Absolutely. I need to know more about this DeChambeau 4-degree driver. What does that mean? I have no idea.
I actually was talking to him about irons too, because I want to buy a new set, and he was kind of suggesting a couple of things. I've hit ping irons my whole life. In fact, and it's kind of like anything else. You wear Nikes, you like Nikes, right? If you give me another piece of equipment. If you play tennis and you hit a Wilson racket, you probably like the feel of that. Or give me something similar. You drive a Ford, you like a Ford, right?
Yeah.
You drive a Ferrari, you probably like a Ferrari.
Certain brands.
Yeah, when you were driving your Ferrari, it was hard for you to go to something.
Yeah,
else, right?
Jumping from Ferrari to Lambo was tough, but we got the job done.
Well, I mean, you do what you got to do. I've hit pings. My granddad always did. In fact, I've got the set. I still hit them in SoCal. The original set of pings from like the early '70s, and they're in pretty good shape. But I still have those. So everybody's kind of go Callaway. Craig Snow about the new Callaways, loves them. But he's like, dude, if you hit pings, those new 425 I's or whatever they are, I don't even know. Wrote it down. So I gotta go hit some clubs when I get back. First world problems. I don't even think it's a problem. First world issues. It's time. I convinced myself. I play enough. I'm going to treat myself. And the technology over the last Wright Zimmerly out at Ladera years ago fitted me for the clubs that I hit now, and I love them. And it's just time. You go out and rent clubs when you go play somewhere, and you realize, dang, the technology has come so far. You watch you just not just drivers, but the irons. It's like it's butter. So
that's my problem. I do not have good enough technology.
So I'm going to tell you something. Watching these guys, I was just playing with a buddy the other day, and he's like, dude, I'm older than I've ever been. I'm hitting my driver further than I've ever hit it. And it's got to be technology, right? He got the new Ping 4 whatever driver, and he's pumping it. And there's got to be something to it, right? You're not getting bigger, faster, stronger when you're in your mid to late 50s, and that's where he is. And he's just pumping it. So technology is real. That's why the DeChambeau thing. I'd love to see him just hit an old wooden driver from 1981. Just a Wilson. I'd just love to see how he hits it. I'd like to actually go out and hit one. And see how much it's changed. No, I mean,
get that nice 127-yard drive going.
Is there a game where technology has changed the game more than golf?
No, because there's not a game where you're using that much stuff. Like you have either hockey stick, hockey pads, baseball bat.
Music out in one.
Baseball feels like it changes every day.
The ball changes quite a bit, but still, I think golf. Definitely hands down. You're talking
auto racing
through driver.
Auto racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's NASCAR or IndyCar, whatever it is, any sort of racing technology would have gotten you there, both safety and technology. But yeah, it's just flat out amazing. It's equipment. Everybody tells you that, right? Get the best helmet. If you're playing football, yeah. All right, I want to get into the NBA a little bit. You can talk about the Sean Miller stuff if you'd like. Lobos are going to play at Michigan. Warren Schaefer, the Isotopes manager, spoke yesterday. It's kind of a hangout session. Yeah, guys, I just want to play. Just want to play. Just want to play. We're going to get him on our show, too, on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Ashley Duran in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Crisp and they look good. Here's Wade in transition.
Hey!
Gonna flush it home.
Well, for a 2021 Bowl Series here at University Stadium. Short kickoff. Fielded about the 20.
Oh,
Gonzalez got a big gap up the middle,
big
one man
gap.
to beat. Let's see, beats Contreras.
He's got it.
Gonzalez will return it 80 yards for a touchdown. And it was just a matter of time before he found a crease.
It's a privilege, you know, it's not a right. And I think these kids have found that out.
Witness on the quarterback
He's
option.
gonna have it.
Will break it up the middle for a touchdown.
Good job.
36-yard touchdown run by Juan Fuentes. Following.
Fakes the drive inside, trying to turn it around, draws contact, puts it up, count it, and one opportunity upcoming for Oliveras.
Yeah, they're
Back to pass, getting some pressure.
Oh, wide
Link to
open.
Greathouse might go 50, 45, 40, 30. One man to beats. Fine, no. Breaks out of that tackle. Tight ropes the sideline. Touchdown. Touchdown for Peyton Greathouse.
No.
On a turnover again, Hobnet, they've got numbers. Canton. Oh, and the throwdown.
Cut off. Ortiz going to take the deep three. Ortiz nails the three-point shot. Timeout. Volcano Vista. Cougars take a 49-47 lead. 3.3 seconds left.
Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Don't sweat the technique.
Two guys, 2 under at the Masters. Hudson Swafford and now Si Woo Kim at the top of the leaderboard at 2 under. Swafford's played 8 holes. Kim has played 3. Matt Jones, Kevin Kistner, and Charles Schwartzel are all at 1 under, and those are the only guys who are under par, but we are very early as only 26 golfers are on the golf course. Dylan Fratelli +4, Sebastian Munoz, Ian Woosnam, Jim Herman +2, Danny Willett +1, Joaquin Neiman +1. Everybody else is even par as we are underway in Augusta and a tradition, JJ, unlike any other. It's the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Hello, friends. Welcome to your Thursday. So how much of this will you watch? Will it be just kind of on for you today? Because I have a feeling that it's on for me all day.
I will watch plenty of the Masters coverage. It will always be in one screen, PIP worthy. Once we get into some of the baseball and basketball games tonight, as we wrap up the final round coverage, Masters weekend, major golf, all in.
How the Rockies do last night? I was watching it early. They were up 5-0 or something, if I'm not mistaken. 8-0. They beat the Diamondbacks. See, look at your Rocks. Look at the spunky little Rockies yesterday, going out and beating Arizona 8-0, getting good pitching, and knocking the ball over the yard. In the only night game in baseball yesterday.
So yeah, nice, solid win over the
good effort.
Fine Arizona Diamondbacks.
They're fine. Everybody's fine. That's fine.
It's
all right,
aight.
your boy. Yeah, it's fine. Your boy Kevin Durant was back. I'm struggling how much I care, but because it's all anybody wanted to talk about in any sports feed, anything I ever went to, I guess I'm supposed to care. Kevin Durant was back from the injury. Harden goes out. He shot 5 for 5 to Durant, 17 points. They just pumped New Orleans 139 to 111. I am so, and it feels to me maybe this year more than ever, just wake me up when the playoffs start. Because and Colin Cowherd said this yesterday, and it is what I have been saying in a different version for a long time. I'm not telling you my take's fresher than his, but he put it so in the way I feel. If the players and look, I'm not going to get into whether they should load manage or not. We've had this conversation. They want to load manage, let them load manage. It is what it is. But why should I care about the regular season if it feels like the NBA doesn't? If I watch, the Lakers are on TV now. I granted there's a lot of injuries, but I'm struggling caring until the playoffs. Like, I'll watch a game here and there, but guys taking nights off, and it doesn't matter. And if they don't care, is what he said, why should I? And I know it's a tired argument for you. I know it's tired for you.
Who's taking
but
a
why?
night off just to take a night off? Like, Kevin Durant missed 23 games because he was injured. James Harden has an injured hamstring right now.
You want to bet he's good by the time playoffs start?
So that he's sitting 10 days just to sit 10 days.
That doesn't happen?
Not at all. 100%. That's not what's happening with the Brooklyn Nets right now. It was a big deal because that team needs to play together because they should be the most dominant team offensively in the Eastern Conference. But Kevin Durant just didn't sit out 23 days for the heck of it.
No, Kevin Durant was hurt. Like
this is one where it matters because that team needs to play together. And James Harden is out. But James Harden, the one thing that he doesn't have a reputation for is not playing through things. That's the one thing he does not have a reputation for in the league, is that dude does play. You can go back to his track record, and he's out if he's hurt. And a hamstring is something that he's hurt and needs to sit out for because this team needs to play together. They don't need to be rested. Because look at what happened to the Clippers last year. That was an issue. That was a huge problem. Kawhi Leonard needs to get over himself and play games, and we're finally seeing that this year. Because we know load managing ultimately will hurt you with a team that has not played together.
Well, I don't know where the fine line is, and if it's new school and I'm struggling and other people are struggling getting there, that's fine. So it be, as far as accepting load management or whatever. But the team who load managed the most, to your point, flamed out early in the playoffs last year. What's a more relevant regular season, baseball, NBA, or hockey?
I'm fine. These sports
NBA.
are regional. In the regular season, there's more of a regional impact. Load management has been an issue in the NBA. I will give you that. Show me the issue this year.
Yeah, I haven't cared enough to honestly show you the
it's
issue.
not an issue this
I watched Clippers games. Now it's a lot of injuries, and injuries were a big deal. It might be because of the quick turnaround, right? Although it can't be with Kevin Durant because he did play last year. I don't doubt Durant was injured. I don't doubt LeBron's injured. I don't doubt Anthony Davis is injured. I also don't doubt they'll all be ready for the playoffs. Yeah. But again, so I should go and watch. The Lakers are on national TV the next 8 games. No LeBron, no AD. I mean, as much as I love me some Caruso.
But that has nothing to do with load management.
I got it. But why do I care?
If your best players are hurt, what are you supposed to do? you're
No, I
not
get
going
it.
to
I
be
get
as interested in the game.
But so tell me why I care watching the Lakers the next eight games. Watching Caruso and
well, if you're a Lakers fan, you care.
All right, but they're on national games eight times in a row.
I'm sorry, LeBron has a high ankle sprain. I don't know how we're going to change that.
Look, Edward. Good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Edward.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. What a great topic conversation. It hits me personally today. My Crusher Jr. and myself are venturing out to Dallas. We got the hookup on Mavericks to go see Luka dunk on chicks versus Milwaukee tonight. And guess who's probably going to sit? The Greek Freak, right? And the good thing I got my tickets for free. But the load management, by the way, Colin Coward, I know most people in Albuquerque are Jim Rome fans, and Jim Rome, I think he makes like $30 million a year, is an incredible talent. But Colin Coward, if you come from the corporate environment, his dissection of topics and issues is stellar, and I think he's the best in the business at this point. The load management issue, he nailed it. You know, the Lakers, Anthony Davis could have come back earlier. You know, who says he couldn't have? We don't know the issue of the injury, but the load management issue in the NBA is going to be even more prevalent because you're judged by what you do in the postseason. Who cares about regular season records at this point? Look at the NFL. All the regular season records on a 16-game schedule are going to completely change because now you play a 17th game. As the NFL continues to expand, it wouldn't surprise me as they add roster depth that they load manage certain positions in the NFL and sit people. Case in point, I bet you Tampa this year load manages Gronk and says, hey, well, we need you for a strong playoff run. Baseball, you see teams that have won their division completely rest players and get their rotation set for the playoffs. That's a little different, but I think that load management is only going to get more prevalent. And I think that it's going to make people wane their interest during the regular season. I spoke to you guys last week where college basketball, which, you know, it's fascinating, the tournament, it's turned into a 5-week season. Conference championship.
But see, I'll push back on you a little bit, and I'm gonna back JJ on this because I think he's right when he says all this is regional. College basketball for Lobo fans in a regular year, or San Diego State fan, or Kansas fan, or Kentucky fan starts tomorrow. Like it's not. If you have your team and you're a college basketball fan, it's not just a 1 month thing. I heard Colin say that for him it's a 1 month thing. That's cool. He lives in LA and he's got the Dodgers, the Lakers, and the Angels and everything else. For people, and so I'm gonna back JJ on this because he's right. College basketball is a year-round game, but certainly throughout its season in those markets. You think in Lexington, Kentucky, it's just a 1 month deal? In Durham, North Carolina, in Albuquerque, New Mexico?
JJ's right. But each one of those towns that you stated, Albuquerque, Lexington, there's not pro sports. So that's the benefit of being in a region.
All right, give me LA. Do you think UCLA fan feels that way?
I think UCLA I think it's somewhat of a not a regional, condensed interest as they get into the tournament. I really do, Jeff, because you got the Rams and the Dodgers and the Chargers. So they're not getting the same interest. I think there was a significant interest this year because they made their incredible run. But I don't know. You're from that area, so you would know more. But JJ's right. I'm in agreement with JJ. College athletics is more. By the way, we transgressed. I mean, we transferred into a mutually exclusive discussion here. But college athletics is regional for the most part. Penn State is a small city. They care more about Penn State than they do the Eagles or the Steelers in that region if you went to Penn State. So I agree with you. I'm not in disagreement with you, but the load management issue, it's going to impact sports more significantly because to gain people's interest, you have to stay on top of your game. And I just illustrated it. Tonight we're going to go see Dallas and Milwaukee, which on paper is a phenomenal matchup. Greek Freak might sit.
But he's been out the last week. So how is that a load management issue? He's been out with an injury the last week.
That was used as an example, right? I'm not saying that's the specific issue.
But the whole point of this conversation was load management, how it's ruining the game, and all we can point to is players that are legitimately injured right now.
You're right. So, okay, let's expand on that real quickly because I know you're going on break. LeBron and AD, right? are they sitting out there for the duration of their injury, or are they like, hey, let's just stretch this out?
They're being careful. They're being careful. They're absolutely going to be careful with it.
Absolutely, you're right. And look at KD out in the Nets. He came back last night. He could have come back. Look at the other guy, their point guard that plays for the Nets. He takes weeks off at a time randomly because they're going to be measured whether or not they beat LeBron in the NBA championship. That's all that matters. Those are very specific examples of load management. And you know where it resonated? With the San Antonio Spurs. That's where it started, where their coach, Popovich, would only play their players a certain amount of minutes, and then it turned into taking games off, and then it turned into taking stretches off, and they had a magnificent run with 5 championships. So I think we both have good points. JJ, I'm not in disagreement with you. You challenged me, and I thought, let me cite some specific examples. But it's a good conversation, and I appreciate you letting me share my thoughts. And,
what time's your flight? What time's your flight? What time's your flight?
Oh, I think we leave at 11:50.
Yeah, I'll see you at the airport. All right.
Hey, by the way, we're going to a Rangers game Friday night. 42,000 people, wide open. It's going to be a blast.
Actually, I think we're on the same flight, actually. So, all right. Safe travel. Safe travels. Enjoy it. All right. Later. All right. So it's interesting. I didn't mean to blow this thing up. And your point on Durant, KD, KD and Durant are the same guy. On LeBron, on Giannis, on
Shaq and Shaquille O'Neal the same person?
I meant AD. Anthony Davis are their injuries. But he's going to go to a game tonight and not see his guy. I guess it comes down to if they don't care, and do they care about regular season? Should you?
Yes. Like this load management is an issue, but he's citing the San Antonio Spurs, so that's what we're back to. Is a decade ago,
That's
like
what
the
we're back to.
Clippers. Like this is our argument. A decade ago, the San Antonio Spurs. Like yes, the regular season. If we can play this game, we can dismiss so many sports and just say, you know what, we're throwing everything out the window, and it's NFL conversation 365 days a year, which absolutely would work. But to this point, did you not see Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell last night?
I didn't.
That was one of the best basketball games I've seen all regular season. You had Donovan Mitchell going for 40 points, Devin Booker 35, going to overtime. The regular season is about those moments. It's not about every single day, whether you're playing 162 games or 82 games. You're going to have your moments. But right now, the furthest thing from the problem for the NBA is load management.
All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. Hey, maybe you signed up for home security, business security. It was a local company. They promised you an armed response. Now that company, that security company, has been bought out and sold twice. So your security is now in the hands of a company from Texas, and that's not what you signed up for. It's not that way if you make the switch to International Protective Service. IPS, that's who I have trusted to watch my home for years, and I suggest you do as well because IPS is not going anywhere. IPS is passionate, and that's because Aaron is from here. Aaron is passionate about providing protection for your home, family, and business. You've worked hard to build it. They're going to work hard to protect it. IPS has highly trained armed guards watching what's important to you when you can't be there. 24-hour patrols, armed officers that usually respond to your home alarm when it goes off within 5 to 7 minutes. Trust your protection to a local company who is passionate about making our city a safer place to live and work. I've trusted them for years. When I go out of town, they watch my home even more. They do exterior checks every day. If I ask them to, they'll pick up the newspaper, the mail. They'll roll the garbage cans to the curb and back on garbage day. Give the home the lived-in look and make you feel secure. IPS. Call them. Take a look at what they're doing. Go to ipsglobal.com. That's ipsglobal.com. Or give them a call. It's area code 505-897-2420. That's 897-2420.
Just like that. You're at the 1 yard line.
Looking over the middle. Intercepted. It's intercepted. And going down the left sideline, might take it to a house call. One man to beat, cuts it back inside at the 5. 10, one man to beat again. Cuts it back at the 5, touchdown. Interception in the return
Who was that?
by number 8, Isaac Kinson, who's already scored an offensive touchdown.
11-4 game, 4.9 seconds to go in the first quarter. Bring up the court, Mays going inside, drawing contact, and one opportunity.
An attack. Oh, that's a great inbound play. Lavato puts it up, blocked beautifully by Heckrop. Blocked beautifully. Shot at the buzzer's up, and it's good. It's good by number 5, Devin Domino Lovato for 3. That will count.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest.
Swafford. What is that, Jeff? If I said to you, Aaron, Hudson Swafford is A, the backup goalie for the Vancouver Canucks, B, the starting pitcher tonight for the Minnesota Twins, C, a guy who was going off early in the Masters, or D, the goalkeeper for the Colorado, whatever they're, Rapids. What would you have told me? Would you have known who Hudson Swafford is? That's one of my favorite games, by the way.
Well, I know that Braden Holtby's the backup in Vancouver, so I know it's not that one.
Look at you. Check you out. All right. Hudson Swafford's the guy leading the Masters. Actually, he just dropped a stroke. And of course, must be playing tough because you've got 5 guys now leading the Masters at 1 under par. It's Swafford, Siwoo Kim, Kevin Kistner, Cameron Champ, and Jason Day. 5 guys at 1 under. Everybody else is even or worse. There's 30 guys on the golf course. Dylan Fratelli got a stroke back, JJ. He's at +3. Joaquin
Jason
Neiman.
Day appearance.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yep. Sebastian Munoz, Fratelli +2 or 3 and 2. I could swear I saw Brooks Koepka teeing off too, but I don't see him on the leaderboard. Abraham Answer, Oklahoma State's on there. Brandon Todd even. So we'll keep you up to date as we go through this. All right, did you see? So Richard Pitino got paid $125,000 for what is going to be academic performances. So did you see the AP story? Grammar wrote a story in the Journal today, but did you see the Associated Press story on the Pitino thing? Evidently, because he took this job, Minnesota's off the hook for the buyout. They don't owe him any money. They don't owe him the $1.75 million because he got a job, and so it's going to take him 2 years to get that 1.75 back? About 8 and 8, 2 years here with incentives. So he'll probably break out about even, I guess, on that. But according to the Associated Press story, that they don't owe him a buyout. Because he got the job. His extension that he signed in 2019, the buyout was 1.75, but payment was to cease end once he found comparable employment, which the University of New Mexico is considered comparable employment. So there was a $500,000 early termination clause that Pitino would have had to pay if he would have bolted. So he gets $125,000. They shake hands and they move on. So for everybody who thought he was getting all that money on top of what UNM is paying him, that evidently is not the case, according to what they're telling me now. So, I mean, good for him, and it's his finances, and I'm never big on talking about another man's money, but...
unless it's quarterback money.
Well, that just doesn't even seem real.
But this makes a ton of sense. You had someone that was hungry to keep the coaching going in Richard Pitino. You had a university that was ready to part ways, and it seemed like it was fair and equitable as a mutually agreed to part ways at that point in time. You know, when you go through one of those scenarios, sometimes it's played that way, but your hand is really forced, and this really just felt like Minnesota was like, you know what, we're ready to move on. You want to go get yourself another job? Fantastic. And it worked out for both parties.
All right, elsewhere yesterday, Maryland agreed to extend Mark Turgeon. He's going through the 2025-2026 season. They made the NCAA tournament. They were a 10 seed this year. We haven't gotten into this because it happened, I believe, over the weekend, right? Somehow this one kind of got lost in our conversation. Porter Moser left Loyola of Chicago. I guess one of his first calls was to Sister Jean and that whole thing. Interesting hire at Oklahoma. I think I like it. I really like Porter Moser. He says, he's interested. He can't wait to test his skills against some of the great coaches in that league, whether it's Bill Self or whether it's Bob Huggins or now Scott Drew, who's a national champion, or you just look around that league. What did you think of the Porter Moser hire from Loyola to Oklahoma?
It's what power conference teams can do. Because Oklahoma does not immediately jump out as, boom, that's a basketball job. But guess what? They got money, they got resources, and they can put it into the program. And that's the difference. I think Porter Moser did an unbelievable job at Loyola of Chicago. And this was his opportunity to take a step up, get paid, and go to a place that you're going to be year in and year out if you put a good football team together. See, there I go again with Oklahoma. A basketball team together in the NCAA tournament.
Well, I mean, you look at who's been there, right? Scott Drew just won a championship. Bill Self has won championships. Chris Beard has been to the championship game. Bob Huggins has been to Final Fours. You go around, and Porter Moser puts his hand up and says, "Yeah, I know. I've been to the Final Four too." And I wasn't at one of these gigantic resource universities like you. I did it with Sister Jean as my point guard and Loyola of Chicago, which. Bottom line is y'all hadn't heard of and couldn't have named the nickname before we went to the Final Four. So I really like the hire. And dude can coach. And it wasn't a one-hit wonder. The fact that he was back in the Sweet 16 this year, that they beat Illinois to get there. And it's crazy that when you look at their path, they beat Illinois and then lost to Oregon State. Like right? I mean, let that boggle your mind for a minute. The team that so many of you had winning it, or it's certainly in the championship game, They beat them and lost to a team that wasn't going to get into the tournament if they didn't win their conference tournament in Oregon State. That's the beauty of the NCAA tournament. But the fact that he got back to the Sweet 16, that this wasn't a one-hit wonder, that was a program that he built, that he's got so much respect. Like Oklahoma has won in basketball. Oklahoma has now not consistently enough, obviously, but Oklahoma has won, and to your point, has incredible resources. Is it a football school? Yeah, it's a football school. But give me a school besides Kansas in the Big 12, that is not a football school. Outside of Kansas, which school in the Big 12 is not a football school?
Yeah, and what we've seen, too, is, guess what? You have the resources. You can be both. The SEC is showing you that in a big way over the last 5 to 6 years. They actually committed more to basketball. I wanted to see more out of their programs. You see it in the Big 12. The basketball is actually better than the football, even with what we've seen at these football schools overall. So I think it's a good move. I know a lot of people might not necessarily have been like, whoa, Oklahoma's the first thing that comes to mind. But you just got to talk about it. Payday, resources, and it's also timing. College Jokic probably wasn't coming back. So Cameron Kurtwig, the anchor of your team, looks like he'll move on to something else in his career. And these are the ones that you go, oh, why now? Well, what's coming back? And this is Porter Moser was like, you know what? I've done a great job here. Now let's go test the waters in a power conference.
All right, 505-246-0610. Would love to hear you today. 888-922-0610. Get in on Lobos playing at Michigan. You can get in on the Sean Miller firing. I got a bunch of emails I got to get to you as well. We'll talk some isotopes at some point. You can get in on the NBA talk too. I mean, do you watch the NBA? Do you watch the NBA? I guess the first question is, do you watch the NBA when the playoffs are there? And then secondly, how much do you watch during the season? But we could have that conversation as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, J.J. Buck. Aaron is producing on the television side over at ProView Networks. You can watch the show, ProViewNetworks.com, or our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. Bobcat producing on the radio side on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Art Sandoval in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Meet Greg Shamus. He's a State Farm agent, which means he's here to help with all this. But it's easier to just remember he's here to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Greg Shamus at 505-898-3648 today.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Masters. You tell me it's unlike any other, the tradition. You got a bunch of guys at -1. That's your leaders. Hudson Swafford. Ian Poulter. Ian Poulter's always there through Friday, right? And then on Saturday he goes away. Siwoo Kim, Kevin Kistner, Jason Day, Abraham Answer, and your guy, Hideki Matsuyama. Ooh, I saw your eyebrows raise on that one. You like that one, right? You got 32 guys on the golf course. Victor Hovland. I almost went Hovland. I was trying to find a place to put him, +3. Dylan Fratelli, +3. Sebastian Munoz, +2. Cameron Champ, dude, all my teams. Your boy Joaquin Neiman, +1. Brooks Koepka is even. He's played a hole. Bubba Watson is even. He has played a hole. So keep you up to date on all this as we go through it. But it is underway, and they're going at Augusta. All right, this is just coming down, and this is really bizarre. So, former NFL player Philip Adams. Do you remember the name Philip Adams? Because I do not.
I don't.
A gunman who killed 5 people Wednesday, including a prominent doctor in South Carolina, was former NFL pro Philip Adams. He killed himself, according to a source. This is this morning. Adams' parents lived near the doctor's home. It's in Rock Hill, South Carolina. The parents had been treated by the doctor. The source that was speaking anonymously said Phillips killed himself after midnight with a .45. This is in York County. So this will be developing, and you'll be hearing about this. But that just went down this morning. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in today. 888-922-0610. We've been talking about the Lobos playing Michigan. Rudy's invited. So did Rudy invite all of us, or is it just kind of you and me? Are we going to?
I don't know. It sounded like a pretty big invitation to show up in the big house in 4 years 2025 for the season opener in New Mexico at Michigan. Love it. These are money games. And that year happens to have 2 of them on the schedule. As the Lobos will play Michigan and UCLA. One of the things I did like too, reading the Steve Virgin story on it, getting the quote from Danny Gonzalez talking about how he's pushing Matt Wells for a home-and-home with Texas Tech would be a lot of fun because they got one in a long time. Oregon State, that's a home and home series. But those are few and far between these days. Whether we're talking basketball or football, to get a quote unquote power conference team into your house, so that would be a lot of fun.
And the home and home drivable is a big deal. Yeah. Or even some of these games, and I guess LA's drivable. It's 12 hours, but Lubbock is what, 4 or 5 hours. I mean, to be able to do that, and I think Danny feels at this point, having Texas Tech would be worth it. Everybody's going to tell me about the Texas A&M thing, and they upped the price to like $50 a ticket, and oh my God, and nobody would go. And home and home's a big deal, and the difference between a home and home and these one-offs is you don't get paid when you go there. They don't give you that big payout, but your payout is on the other side. You're going to have a big draw and hopefully get the gate, right? And so that's what you're anticipating it. I think a home and home is there. If you had your choice, in 2025, the Lobos will play in two of the most iconic college football venues, right? I mean, if you think of iconic, you think Rose Bowl, you think Big House, probably think Notre Dame Stadium in Tuscaloosa. I mean, what else jumps out? Do you think College Station? They're playing in some of the best venues. You think Death Valley, that's on the schedule. If you, in 2025, you can make one road trip. You can go Labor Day weekend and you can go to Ann Arbor. You can go 2 weekends later and you can go to the Rose Bowl. You haven't been to either one. Which one are you taking?
I think first I got to go to Ann Arbor.
Okay.
I go check out the Big House, especially 4 years. Fingers crossed. You expect that to be loaded, 100,000 people. Got to be an unbelievable atmosphere.
I think it's a tough decision, to be honest with you. For me, I think I've been to both. I've been to a lot of games at the Rose Bowl. I've been to Rose Bowl games, and I've been to non-Rose Bowl games at the Rose Bowl. I think if you're going to do the Rose Bowl for the first time, I've seen Taylor Swift at the Rose Bowl. But if you're going to do the Rose Bowl the first time, I think you should do the Rose Bowl game. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Just go big right out the gate.
Yeah, I think, look, everybody should go to that stadium. I think I've told you, I don't love going to games there. It's hard to get in and out unless you've got that police escort and you're friends of the Rose Bowl. Then that's the way to go. But everybody should go. And I love the Rose Bowl event. It's a tradition unlike any other, JJ. But I would say if I had my option of one of these two, I would probably do Ann Arbor if I hadn't done either one of them before.
I think you're going to get with that classic college game day feel. It sounds like there's challenges involved with anything else when you get to 100,000 people going to one place, but still that's definitely would be up on my list. The Swamp in Florida, another one of those things. I'm looking at the LSU game going, that would be mighty intriguing as well to experience that atmosphere, because and Rudy said it, it's simple. It's like the pit. It's like you're going straight in. There's a special feel around the event, around the game, and the building itself.
That's one I'm kicking myself for. Remember the game of the century a few years back, the LSU-Alabama game? I mean, it's every year, but this was probably like 2 or 3 years ago. I want to say it was Alex's second year in the big leagues, but I had a bunch of buddies that were going, and I got invited. The issue was just finding a place to stay. Like literally, it was going to be at a casino, an hour and a half out, and I had some. That's the one I'm kicking myself for not going. Was to LSU. I've never been to Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's one I really want to go to as well. But I'll ask you that question as we get through this, because here you are in 2021. You've got an opportunity. You can go see the Lobos, you can travel with the Lobos, and you can go to the Rose Bowl and watch UCLA, or you can go to the Big House and watch them play Michigan. Which one would you go to? And it's not an easy choice, to be honest with you. For me, and this is because I've been to the Rose Bowl so many times, and I've only been to the Big House once. I would say the Big House, but if you haven't been to either, I'd say the Big House just because of that college atmosphere.
And especially, you're getting it in the season opener. So we're not talking necessarily about October or November trip to Michigan.
Yeah, when it's really, really cold. All right, 505-246-0610. No matter what you do, you're going to want to be able to see it. And if you are struggling with your vision and you're wearing lenses, glasses, contacts, and you're done with that, glasses are fogging up because of masks and COVID and everything else, you think you might be a candidate for LASIK, Can I strongly suggest Coleman Vision and Dr. Stephen Coleman? I had a high degree of astigmatism. I had been wearing glasses since high school to drive at night and then to read and then to everything else. I went and saw Dr. Coleman. I had the surgery done back in 2003, 1 in the afternoon. Opened my eyes and instantly saw the difference. It changed my life. I anchored the news the next morning at 5 a.m. without lenses and haven't worn them since. Dr. Coleman changed my life. How many things in your life can you say were life-changing? The technology he uses is cutting edge. He plays a significant role in developing and testing all the current technology, the best that's used around the world, technology that originated at Sandia Labs here in New Mexico. And that's why for years patients have come from everywhere to have their LASIK done at Coleman Vision by Dr. Stephen Coleman. If you think you're a candidate for LASIK, go see the best. And that's Dr. Coleman. Go to colemanvision.com, see what they've got going, and then call and make an appointment at area code 505-821-8880. That's 821-8880. Coleman Vision, seeing is believing, and I sure as heck believe.
Pull up to church.
Crisp and they look good. Here's Wade in transition.
Hey!
He's got to flush it home.
Well, for a 2021 Bowl Series here at University Stadium. Short kickoff. Fielded about the 20.
Oh,
Gonzalez got a big gap up the middle,
Big
one man
gap.
to beat. Let's see, beats Contreras.
He's got it.
Gonzalez will return it 80 yards for a touchdown. And it was just a matter of time before he found a crease.
It's a privilege, you know, it's not a right. And I think these kids have found that out.
Winters on the quarterback
He's
option.
gonna have it.
Will break it up the middle for a touchdown.
Good job.
36-yard touchdown run by Juan Fuentes. Following.
Fakes the drive inside, trying to turn it around, draws contact, puts it up, count it, and one opportunity upcoming for Olivetis.
Yeah, there.
Winters back to pass, getting some pressure.
Oh, wide
Complete
open.
to Greathouse. Greathouse might go 50, 45, 40, 30. One man to beats. Fine, no. Breaks out of that tackle. Tight ropes the sideline. Touchdown. Touchdown for Peyton Greathouse.
No.
On a turnover again, Hobnet, they got numbers. Canton. Oh, and the throwdown.
Cut off. Ortiz going to take the deep three. Ortiz nails the three-point shot. Time out. Volcano Vista. Cougars take a 49-47 lead. 3.3 seconds left.
Just like that. You're at the 1 yard line.
Looking over the middle. Intercepted. It's intercepted. And going down the left sideline, might take it to a house call. One man to beat, cuts it back inside at the 5. 10, one man to beat again. Cuts it back at the 5, touchdown. Interception in the return.
Who was that?
By number 8, Isaac Hinson, who's already scored an offensive touchdown.
11-4 game, 4.9 seconds to go in the first quarter. Bring up the court, Mays going inside, drawing contact, and one opportunity.
An attack. Oh, that's a great inbound play. Mata puts it up, Blocked beautifully by Heckrop. Blocked beautifully. Shot at the buzzer's up, and it's good. It's good by number 5, Devin Domino Lovato for 3. That will count.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
By Quan's Auto Care Collision and Repair, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Ralph says, I love the Rose Bowl venue as well, especially when the Aztecs waxed the Bruins. There was that one time. Edward said Tiger load managed the back end of his career. He was talking about the load management. Did Tiger load manage? I guess so. I mean,
kind of forced to.
Yeah. By a number of different things. Yeah, I guess so. All right, emails are coming in. I'll get you a bunch of these because you're sending them. And since you took the time to send them, the least I could do is take the time to read them for you. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. They come in. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. All right, this is on Isotopes. So you were on the Warren Schaefer call yesterday. Warren Schaefer, if I asked most people, JJ, Warren Schaefer is A, even par at the Masters, B, the Isotopes manager, C, the 17th seeded on the men's side at the French Open, or D, the left wing for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Where do you think people would go?
Schaefer has the PGA vibe to me. That sounds like a dude that's sitting there battling for a top 10 at the Safeway Open.
With Scheffler and Schauffele and Schaefer? Xander Schauffele?
Which,
Scotty
by the
Scheffler?
way,
yeah,
we can really play that game now with Bobcat. So if you can get back into that game.
It's my favorite
You're not
game.
dropping hints before you run down the 4.
Mm-hmm. That's the problem. I always screw that up. All right, so Warren Schaefer is the Isotopes manager. And he held a Zoom press conference yesterday, and I put in a request. It's nice to see, by the way, everybody back. And Kevin Collins, the PR director or the media relations director, is back. And big news yesterday, I know somebody asked who's going to do the games. Josh Sushan will be calling the games for Isotopes Baseball, which is really good news. He's been and is in Reno calling UNR, as I'm told not to call them. Nevada Reno baseball and women's basketball, and Josh will be back for Isotopes baseball, which I remember when he left, he and I had a conversation. I'm like, why can't you come back and do that? And there was really no reason. So as we start to ease our way back to some sense of stuff, it's good to know that Josh is going to be back on the air and on the Sports Animal calling baseball.
Absolutely. I always love talking to Josh. He is absolutely up there, right there with you as people that I've looked up to in the business. He has been so influential in building my confidence, and someone that I just love to talk to, and just so glad that he's able to be back calling Isotopes games.
Well, if that in fact is true, you should attend the journalism school at San Diego State, as both he and I did. He also is an Aztec.
Well, I do have that degree from the fine C&J school at UNM, so
that's right.
Keep our rivalry going.
So on that, Gus said on ABT, and I don't even know what ABT is, he said, Jeff, this is a unique place. It is what it is. To be successful here, I think you need to do something a little different that opponents don't see every day. Albuquerque's baseball team needs to come up with a scheme that will work playing at Mile High against Salt Lake, who likes to hit it all over the gym one night, and Memphis, who wants to establish the run at sea level the next. It used to not matter because the talent level here was just so much higher than everywhere else. There were seasons the World Series champ was the second best team in the country behind the squad playing at the corner of University Stadium. But it hasn't been that way in decades. Albuquerque's baseball team is no longer able to attract those five-star recruits. Gus wants to win. You know, Warren said something, and I'm looking forward to talking to him on it, because I heard Gus and Sid as he was on yesterday. Somebody asked him about evaluating talent, and that's what this is here. It's about developing. And he said, well, if you're developing the talent right, then you should be winning. It all goes hand in hand, right? And he said there shouldn't be a difference. And I'm like, really? You were thinking the same thing?
That is so funny. That is the first thought that went through my mind. I was like, you know what? These baseball guys would love this dude. Like, Warren Schaefer is Mr. Baseball. Like, he would be right there. And with the Sids, the Gus's of the world, they would love his attitude. He's a 35-year-old manager that is plucked right out of the 1970s with his baseball mindset. And exactly the quote you said. It says, if you're developing right, you should be winning. Winning, to me, is a skill.
And he said there shouldn't be a differentiate. There shouldn't be a difference, right? If you're developing correctly and doing it the right way, he said you should be winning, right?
Yeah. Now it is a challenge, because ultimately he's got to work with what the Rockies want to do. And if the Rockies want to say, hey, we need this guy to get 4 innings of work, we need this guy to get 3 at-bats no matter what's happening, you do have those things to deal with. But ultimately, he's still a guy that wants to put his players in a position to succeed, work with whatever he has. And I think that mindset, definitely from the baseball purist, will be appreciated. But still, overall, there's an element to, if you don't have a good minor league system, it also really just doesn't matter how much you are invested in winning if you just don't have the talent yet.
Man, I got a bunch more emails. Man, you keep them coming. I'll read them. I'll get through these. I promise you. You're taking the time. I'll take the time to read them. Get your leaderboard when we come back. If you had a choice, you can go to one. You're saving up for a trip in 2025. You're going to go watch your Lobos play. You can go to Ann Arbor at the Big House. I mean, how about that? How about if you're a Lobo? Does that help recruiting, JJ? Hey, come play with us, and look, you get to play 2 of the most iconic venues in college football in 2025. We're going to play at the Big House and at the Rose Bowl. It's kind of a big deal, isn't it? And you got a new leader at the Masters. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal at ProView Networks.
Clear, thank you. 4.5 minutes.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Westfield's first pro day to watch Alabama QB Mac Jones. Speaking of quarterbacks, the Cowboys might have theirs back sooner than expected. Dak Prescott was seen throwing on the field.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Art Sandoval in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Next in line. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Meet Greg Shamus. He's a State Farm agent, which means he's here to help with all this. But it's easier to just remember he's here to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Greg Shamus at 505-898-3648 today.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
All right, Masters, you got a new leader, J.J. Buck. Do you see that? Guy from Oklahoma State. Abraham Answer is the answer to the question. It's too easy. It's just too easy. He's -2 after 4. We're so early. Henrik Stenson, Siwoo Kim, Corey Connors, Kevin Kistner, Jason Day, and Hideki Matsuyama, along with, that's who's at -1. The guy who's been there all day is Hudson Swafford. He's back to even. He was as good as 2 under. You've got 41 guys on the golf course. Dylan Fratelli. It's over, isn't it, for Dylan Fratelli?
Dustin Johnson, bogey on hole number 1.
Ooh, look at that. He's +1. Victor Hovland +1. Matthew Wolf +1.
I think Dylan Fratelli is probably not.
Damn it, dude. That's my team. I needed that. All right.
Hey, you're still alive in our Masters draft. We got the big dogs.
Yeah, because I don't have them on my team there. All right, fair enough. That's really what matters. I don't want to win any money. I just want to not lose lunch.
You want to win lunch.
Yeah, that's about right. All right, I asked you the question this morning. I'd love your thoughts. Lobos are going to Michigan 2025. You're saving up. You got one of them to go to. You're going to the big house. You're going to go to the Rose Bowl. They play UCLA on the 13th of September. They play at Michigan on Labor Day weekend. Aaron, you got as a fan, as a football fan, which one would you rather go to? The big house, go see Michigan for the opener, or the Rose Bowl, go see UCLA? Got a preference?
Well, I like Michigan. As long
Why
as
is that?
it's nice and summery. Oh, it's
Yeah, it'll
beautiful.
be
It's
Labor Day
green.
weekend.
Oh,
okay,
absolutely Michigan.
LA's pretty sweet too now. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever seen Pasadena at New Year's Day? LA's pretty nice too. But yeah, whatever you like. Whatever you like. All right, so he's in on that. All right, let me read you some other stuff. This is football from Richard. He wants to know, what about the chaparrals and cheerleaders, Jeff? By the time Houston Baptist rolls around, it'll have been a year and a half since we've seen the cheerleaders or the chappies on the field. Do you see the transfer portal to supplement those squads with the girls who have been performing over the period? Or do you just accept 21-22 is going to be a rebuilding year? Is there a transfer portal for cheer squads?
I think this is a great time to go young, really focus on reestablishing the foundation of the cheer squad, the bottom of the pyramid, so to speak. So I think that's where my focus would be this year.
All right. Bruce wants to play Mississippi State. What about the Pirate in Mississippi State? Okay, remember Zach Arnett's there. So Jeff, one game I was hoping to see on the schedule, sooner than later, hopefully this season, was Lobo football making up the game in Starksville to play Mike Leach and the Bulldogs. Remember, they were supposed to play this year. And look, so can I just tell you, I know Mississippi State is not as iconic a venue as Michigan, but if you were going to throw Vegas into that conversation, I'd have gone to Starkville. If you were going to give me Stark Vegas, Ann Arbor, or the Rose Bowl, I'd have gone Stark Vegas.
Okay, any SEC game has a unique atmosphere because it's real. Like, yeah, you can get fed up with, the SEC, this and that. No, but the atmosphere piece to it, to pretty much every university, I'm right there with you. I'm still going to Ann Arbor because I think that's just unbelievable, iconic venue. But a day at any of those places, whether you're between the hedges in Athens, talking Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Auburn, LSU, heck, I'm sure Arkansas is wild. Would be a lot of fun.
All right. What I understand, Mississippi State doesn't want to play New Mexico, and they're not willing to pay New Mexico.
Ooh.
So that may not happen.
They scared. The Pirates scared.
What are you scared? You scared? Last time the Pirate was here, not that they would be coming here, didn't end up well, did it? They blew an 18-point lead in the last 2.5 minutes against Colorado State? 18-point lead in 2:06. Colorado State eclipsed and won the New Mexico Bowl. Tella says, need a roadie soon, Jeff. Since Cumulus is still closed, we need some remote where you, JJ, and the OD's newest star, Bobcat, can get out and mix and mingle with the sports animales. Is there a better producer name for 610 than Bobcat? Probably not. That's a pretty good one. So, I mean, unless you want to be called something else. Bob, when did you start being called Bobcat? Was it just Strauss, or was it before that?
Just with Mr. Strauss.
So you've always been Bob, and now all of a sudden you became Bobcat.
Yes, one of the listeners named me.
All right. Well,
and I like it.
All right, as long as you like it. See, we had a producer. You knew Joe Gonzalez, right?
Yes.
What do you have? 15 nicknames. He hated everyone. It's Joe. No,
a lot of it had to do with traffic.
Well, Grape Juice didn't, and Grape Juice was a good one.
I was just. Because that's one of those ones you're just kind of like, what?
What?
Like, yep, grape juice. Okay, it's grape juice.
Yeah. You know, I have had lots of nicknames, some of which cannot be said over.
Yeah, that's fair. As have we all.
So this is a pretty good one, actually.
Yeah, no, Bobcat's good. Yeah, it was Grape Juice and HR Toughen stuff, and then when he did traffic,
I like
he was
Stop and Go Joe. That's fantastic.
Stop and Go Joe. Yeah, Joey Skidmark.
Oh yeah, that was a little rough.
Was it?
No one wants to be called a Skidmark.
All right, fair enough. But he hated and he would just get that look, and it's Joe. No, it's Joe.
Joe.
Right, got it.
Not Joey, not Joseph. Joe.
And my favorite was when he was doing traffic and he would pronounce all the Spanish street names. Paseo del Norte, Candelaria, right? And then it's Joe Gonzalez. I'm like, dude, so if it's Paseo del Norte and Candelaria and doesn't have to be Gonzalez? He's like, no, don't tell me what my name is. I'm like, all right, fair enough. I'm down. Like I miss Joe a lot. Joe was iconic and
Joe was great.
original cast member of the show. He's on the original T-shirt. Maurice says, couldn't disagree with Rudy C. more, Jeff. I don't think 5,000 people at a spring game when everyone's been imprisoned for a year and nothing else is going on automatically means 30,000 at University Stadium against Houston Baptist. By that time, hopefully people will be going to the dividers again. The mariachis will be back in action. There will be balloons and concerts and rodeos. Oh, my. Unfortunately, listening to Dr. D. Scrace yesterday, however, that is still far from a certainty. Everything's far from a certainty, man. I see a scenario. So I've been wrong. You've been wrong. We've all been wrong, right? On some stuff, although we've been right on a lot. None of us saw Isotopes opening on April with fans. Now Isotopes can open, I believe, currently we're still yellow, so I think at 25%. Hopefully within a month when they open, we can go to green and they can open, I think, at 50% or whatever the number is. Masked, by the way. Don't you see a scenario where we're at hopefully turquoise by September 2nd or whatever it is, and you can have up to 75% and most likely masked fans? And I know you're yelling at me. Don't yell at me, man. I mean, I don't make the rules, but I can see it still being masked by then. Masked fans in University Stadium.
At this point in time, it's like second nature. Like I've broadcast sporting events wearing a mask. Like it's fine if you need to sit there in between sipping your beer. Like we'll deal with that this year because I think we've made a lot of good progress. I'm positive, optimistic about moving forward and getting back to all these events. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about the direction where we're going. I'm gonna push back on Maurice. That was definitely something. Almost 5,000 people for a spring game. That had nothing to do with Bish being cooped up, because there was a time that people didn't care about local football. And so, let alone wanting to have a spring football game be the event that you make, oh, finally I get to go out and do something. That is definitely something to take note of, because it does just highlight the new energy around this program.
I think you're right. I think if there was a factor because of people hadn't done anything, I think it's a small factor. I think people wanted to get out. I think they're at a point where people could have gone out and done things, whatever things are at this point. Were people locked up or they've been imprisoned, as he says? Yeah, people are jonesing, dude. People want to get away. I get that. And by the way, I think another big piece of it, it was damn near 80 degrees. Like it was perfect. It was windy. It was beautiful. It was hot. Like the weather sure helped. Like if it was, blowing 50 miles an hour and cold, you'd have had less. So yeah, it all came together. But I think I'll side with you on that. That the main reason that people were there and the number of people who were there was because they give a damn about local football and they're into it a little bit. So. Yeah, 505.
I think if you just play it around. Just somehow somebody say this was a 2-win team that in year 4 or 5 of a head coach, you're not getting 5,000 people that spring game. So it is taking advantage of the honeymoon period, the excitement, the belief in Danny Gonzalez, that he's reestablishing that foundation for local football.
I think you hope you are. You hope you're getting more people than that in year 4 or 5, right?
No, I'm talking just for a spring game. Yeah. That's why I think this moment absolutely matters. It's early on. But if they're 2-3-win team 2-3 years from now,
no, that's
you're not
story.
Getting the same reaction. Yeah.
All right, 2460610. Keep them coming. I'll get more of your emails. Want your thoughts. And so 2025, plan your trip. You want to go see the Lobos play in Michigan at the Big House? You want to go see them play at the Rose Bowl against UCLA? Which one would you prefer and why? It's the opening drive.
Something, nothing, or everything. Well, what has been everything to me has been F45 training. F45 training is high-intensity circuit training in 45-minute classes. So you go in, you're set up. I love the equipment available at the gym. The trainers have been phenomenal, and the classes challenge you each and every single day. It's a new class to keep your mind and body moving forward. So what is F45 training? Well, F45 training mixes a bunch of things. Resistance movement, body weight movement, kettlebells, dumbbells, barbells, all kinds of things to put you through a fantastic workout in just 45 minutes. If you're someone that hasn't done the circuit training or the quote-unquote high-intensity training where you're raising your heart rate, dropping it back down, doing 45-second sets, 10-second rest, getting back on, 3-4 sets, different circuits, well, guess what? You can do it because it's for everyone. Whether you're someone that wants to kickstart your fitness or challenge yourself to get to another level, F45 training is the place for you. I love it because it helps push me, challenge me, and you can still do things like traditional weight training and add it in on top of this, because for me, I'm not someone that just wants to, it just doesn't work for me to be on a treadmill for an hour or sit on a stationary bike. So to get the cardio and strength workout that you get with F45, I am absolutely loving it. Check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app to look at the schedule of classes. They have classes available 7 days a week. You can also sign up for your 7-day free trial to try it out. And once you get in that gym, you are really going to enjoy it. They are located at 5920 Holly Northeast, Paseo I-25. So it's really good access from wherever you're coming from in the city. The trainers are fantastic. They're great with motivation, helping you with the exercise, or if you need a modifier to maybe work through an issue that you have, they're available every single class to motivate you and push you to be your best. So you can focus on getting a great workout done in a good atmosphere in those 45 minutes. We got quarterback on deck tomorrow, one of the different names that they have for their workout. I'm looking forward to it. We're talking agility, resistance, and power-based cardio movements going into the weekend with your classic Hollywood 60-minute workout on Saturday, then the Angry Bird on Sunday, which is a more strength-based workout. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. F45 is the place for you. So check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Ashley Duran in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Siwoo Kim has joined Abraham Answer and Christian Bezenhout at the top of the leaderboard, -2 at the Masters. Got a group at -1 that includes your guy Webb Simpson now. Corey Connors, Kevin Kisner, Henrik Stenson, -1. Look at Sebastian Munoz, who was +2 early, now is even. That's good to see. Bubba Watson, even. Brooks Koepka, even. Lee Westwood, Dustin Johnson, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, even. Rory, Patrick Reed, even after 1. You got Hudson Swafford's going backwards. He's +1. Joaquin Neiman still +1. Dylan Fratelli +3 is killing me. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Robert Portnoy got in, said Knoxville and Columbus, Ohio, 2 places if those haven't come up yet. If we're talking great venues, then the list starts going, right? Knoxville with 100 and something thousand people on their boats. I'll give you Seattle. Go to a UW game. It's a beautiful setting up in Seattle to see the University of Washington. But we're talking kind of what's on the Lobos schedule, and if you had to make a choice in that year of 2025, Rob gets to go to both. He doesn't have to make a choice. See, it's good to be king, right? It's good to be king, but it's if you're like us mere mortals, you got to make a choice. Which one do you do? Gopher sent me an email that leaderboard sounds like the Indy 500, Jeffy. It's amazing the difference in the OD interest when the big cat's not in the field, and I'm not talking about Bobcat. You don't get callers asking for Kevin Na updates or how's Daniel Berger doing? Fair enough. I don't have that email that keeps saying keep those Tiger Woods updates coming. Fair enough. Keep those Kevin Na updates coming isn't quite the same.
So who's the low amateur right now? Let's get that update.
I'll find that for you. Bourne said on the NBA stuff, he says you couldn't care. You shouldn't care, Jeffers. I haven't cared about the NBA regular season since 1989. And honestly, ever since they expanded the tournament to all 7-game series, I don't even care about the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Okay? I'd rather 7-game series than 5. Or 3 or whatever they were doing. Why would I don't understand why you would care less about that. I'm not really sure I understand it, but it is what it is. I don't know. JJ watched the NBA last night. He liked it. This is where I always tell you, don't
like what you like. I don't care what you don't like.
Yeah.
It's impossible to be 100% all in on everything. On the NHL season, on the MLB season, on the NBA. Right. I'm in this position because I'm that guy. So I got you covered. No, I will make it interesting for you. I can drop NBA topics on you that are going to get you thinking, are going to ignite. But yes, when you got the length of seasons, a lot of it is regionalized. You're waiting for those moments to pop, and it's a challenge of sport, but that's what we're doing. Like, no one is expecting everyone to be all in on every single NBA, MLB, and NHL regular season game. Like, that's there's no argument to that.
That's right. Hey, I butchered the guy's name who's leading, along with Siwoo Kim and Abraham Answer, but I sold it like I knew what it was. Robert Portnoy just said he heard on the telecast. It's Christian Bedenhout, not Bezenhout. So it's Bedenhout. I butchered his name. But, JJ, I sold it like I knew what it was.
As long as you sell it. And his mom's not listening, no one's going to challenge you on it.
I'm thinking, I believe him to be South African. I'm not certain, but I'm going to believe Mr. and Mrs. Badenhout are not watching or listening or watching. And if they are, I apologize.
The opening
drive. But Rob, no, thank you for that. I appreciate the correction on that because I should get it right. Yes, sir.
That's just broadcasting 101. When you make a mistake, just keep on going.
Yeah. So I shouldn't have corrected it?
Well.
And if I'd have said it right next time, you would never have known that I said it wrong last time because you wouldn't have remembered what I said anyway.
Right.
Because nobody, And I don't know who Christian Badenhout is, to be honest with you. I don't know much about him. I really don't. He went to, I don't know where he's from. He ranks 52nd in the world. And, I don't have a lot on him, man. I really don't. So, but all I know is he's leading the Masters, man. Would it be so just to lead the Masters for a day and have some guy in some town somewhere that he probably hasn't heard of us either butcher my name? Because if I was leading the Masters, they'd butcher my name too.
And from the state of San Diego State alum, Jeff Siembieda.
Whoever.
Through 4.
I'm down. Yeah, that's me. That's right, yo. Just
Michael Lemonade.
It's Michael Lemonade. But Stinson, and so now there's only 2 at the top. Answer dropped one on number 6. He made a bogey on 6. So you got, what do you got? You got Matsuyama and Webb Simpson at -1. Who's got Rahm? Aaron? He's got Rahm. All right. It's going to get interesting. Why am I watching my boy Dylan Fratelli so closely?
Because you need him. He was
Sergio's
your,
+3.
Underdog.
Sergio's +3 after 4. Boy, somebody told me watch out for Sergio this week. You know I've never take Sergio, right? And Sergio's a defending.
Watch out for Sergio.
Or a former. Wow, I was reading a couple of things. Well, Sergio, because he won once there. He won okay.
So did Danny Willett. You watching out for him this weekend?
Well, he was a name that kind of made me think for a second when I was down in the lower prices. Yeah, I actually kind of did. And actually, where's Danny Willett? I just saw him on the. Remember that year Danny Willett won? It was like, I don't know Danny Willett. Yeah, Patrick Reed's even. I think Patrick Reed has a week this week too. If you had to choose between Patrick Reed and Lee Westwood, which way would you have gone?
Reed.
Okay, they're both even. I really struggled with that because Westwood's played so well, never won a major, been close so many times, played so well, and I'm wondering if this might be his year. I don't know. Maybe it's passed him by. But now that his fiancée is on the bag and he's got a little gray in his beard, I'm just thinking, I don't know, man. I've outthought myself on this thing so many times it doesn't even matter. It just doesn't matter.
The Masters feels like it should be the gettable one.
Why?
Because you got Bryson DeChambeau that's going to go out there and just try to bomb everything. But at the Masters, it still feels like placement, second shot into the green, putting, length isn't as big of an issue for some of these guys.
Yeah, I kind of always feel the PGA is the gettable one. The U.S. Open is just so difficult. The setup's so hard, and so the rough is so ridiculous. The greens are so fast. The Masters in these conditions, it's going to be short game in this one because it's so dry. Because obviously the course is playing pretty rough, and with the dry conditions, it feels like this one you're going to have to hit it in the fairways. You're going to have to. I'm watching Lee Westwood as I was talking about him take a 2-stroke drop out of the pine straw or in the pine straw because. It's, I don't know. Is there one course in the world you'd want to play? Because this is it to me. This is and maybe because I played Pebble, because Pebble would have been right there with it. I would love for this course to eat my lunch one day.
I've never actually thought about that in that in depth. Like I'm happy.
I mean, there's like St. Andrews and all these courses, overseas and Medina. And
I'm happy when I get to go up to like Paco Ridge and play. I'm like, wow, this is fancy.
That's pretty nice. Yeah, it's actually really freaking nice.
I'd love to go play a course in like St. Andrews or something like that. That would be great.
I am going to take at some point, and it'll probably be after Addie's out of high school, right? Because it's just to take that week and go away. It's just you can't find time. So probably when she's gone to college, I'm going to take a Ireland golf trip. Ireland, Scotland golf trip. I've heard, and I'm going to do it above board. I'm going to take the money out of the right fund, and I've already got I've already got my Scotland and Ireland golf trip fund going.
This is not going to be New Mexico Bowl related golf trip.
you can audit it all you want when I go, but I am doing that trip. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. JJ's going to tell me how good Kevin Durant's comeback was yesterday, and how good that Phoenix Suns game was last night as well. It's the opening drive on ProView Networks and 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
As usual, they come out crisp and they look good. Here's Wade in transition.
Hey!
He's gonna flush it home.
Well, for a 2021 Bowl Series here at University Stadium. Short kickoff. Fielded about the 20.
Oh,
Gonzalez
big,
got
yeah.
a big gap up the middle,
Big
one man
gap.
to beat. Let's see, beats Contreras.
He's got it.
Gonzalez will return it 80 yards for a touchdown. And it was just a matter of time before he found a crease.
It's a privilege, you know, it's not a right. And I think these kids have found that out.
Winters on the quarterback
He's
option.
gonna have it.
Will break it up
That's
the middle for a touchdown.
Good job.
36-yard touchdown run by Juan Fuentes. Following.
Oliveris fakes the drive inside, trying to turn it around, draws contact, puts it up, count it, and what opportunity upcoming for Oliveris.
See how they're.
Winters back to pass, getting some pressure.
Oh, wide
Link
open.
to Greathouse. Greathouse might go 50, 45, 40, 30. One man to beats. Fine, no. Breaks out of that tackle. Tight ropes the sideline. Touchdown. Touchdown for Peyton Greathouse.
Nope.
On a turnover again, Hobnet, they've got numbers. Canton. Oh, and the throwdown.
Cut off. Ortiz going to take the deep three. Ortiz nails the three-point shot. Time out. Volcano Vista. Cougars take a 49-47 lead. 3.3 seconds left.
Just like that. You're at the 1 yard line.
Looking over the middle. Intercepted. It's intercepted. And going down the left sideline, might take it to a house call. One man to beat, cuts it back inside at the 5. 10, one man to beat again. Cuts it back at the 5, touchdown. Interception and a return
Who was that?
by number 8, Isaac Kinson, who's already scored an offensive touchdown.
All right, Rob's got Justin Thomas to win the Masters. Not really going out on a limb there. But you don't have to go out on a limb to be right now. I mean, if you'd have taken Baylor to win the NCAA tournament, oh, look at you going out and taking a big chance there. Well, I mean, I don't know. You want to be the guy that says, all right, man, I'm going to take Loyola, or you want to be the guy who wins, right? Oh, you took nice going out on a limb. You took Justin Thomas. Yeah, but I don't know. It'd be nice to be right, wouldn't it? But you got a better chance.
It's always nice to be right.
Yeah. All right, Kevin Durant was back last night. 5 of 5 for the field, 17 points. They just pumped New Orleans, did the Brooklyn Nets, 139-111. So pretty big deal that he came back and looked so good and looked so healthy, and now Harden's out, but what's the significance yesterday?
The significance is they got to play together at some point in time. For this team to hit the heights that they can achieve even in year one, they got to be on the court because there's no question the offense works. James Harden has been phenomenal. He's a dude that's taking over and saying, you know what, I'm setting you all up. I'm going to distribute this basketball. Now you get the job done. So there's no question with the offense. It's postseason basketball. How good are they going to be defensively? Because we did see early on the first few games where you did have Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. That was the issue. In the defensive rotations, you want to get into the X's and O's of it. That's the real part, is this team has to play together. And injuries are the problem. This is not a Clipper situation where they were load managing Paul George and Kawhi Leonard last year, and that made no sense, especially with the time off that they had, the weird year it was. You go into the bubble, and that team blows a 3-1 lead because your superstars did not play like that. So the key for the Brooklyn Nets is those guys on the court together to play championship-level basketball, because who's defending Joel Embiid? What are you doing in those situations? So you're going to have to figure it out. Now, a big thing to me, I have been pleasantly surprised, and I did not think he would look as good as he has, and it has been Blake Griffin. So that is the one piece we go, you know what, all right, that seems to be working, because he all of a sudden looks like he remembered how to jump, which is just unbelievable for Blake Griffin. But, yeah, that moment was big for KD to be back, because he's coming off an Achilles injury. And you just never know. Soft tissue legs, it's always concerning until you're finally fully 2 years out and he's getting close to that period. with his injury. And then also you want to just look at some of the best basketball teams you need to recognize. That's Phoenix and Utah. And last night was one of those moments. We always talk about, that Tuesday night in Charlotte. Games that, you're not going to care, but no one cares that the Hornets played the terrible Thunder last night. I got you. But Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, legit superstars in the Western Conference. Sign me up for 7 games of that because that matters. That was fantastic.
Well, I think anybody who's watched the NBA at all understands how good Utah is. Utah's got the best record in the league. And I think people are starting to notice Phoenix and will in the playoffs. Phoenix is the team that went to the bubble and went undefeated, but didn't get enough help to make the playoffs. Phoenix, if Devin Booker isn't on your radar, now that Chris Paul's there, maybe it becomes more on your radar or whatever. But Devin Booker is the best superstar that nobody talks about. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think however you want to quantify it, he's already a star player, but I think, to raise the level of superstardom, I think that's players that
win.
Are able to step up in the postseason, players that are in the MVP conversation, and I think he's close. But really the thing to me is a reminder of how good Chris Paul is. And he hasn't the winning at a high level, but he is one of the best point guards in the history of this game. It is unbelievable. The addition of Chris Paul has taken a team that was nice when 8-0 in the bubble, but to contending for the top seed in the Western Conference and the level he is still playing at. He's not just the dude that's giving you 20 minutes, veteran presence. Like has been just a big of a factor along with Devin Booker. And that's why some people he's not going to get the votes, but are actually saying, like, how do we quantify him in an MVP conversation for the impact that he's made on this team?
So to exemplify your point a little bit, we could play our game again, but if you go into a bar tonight, bars aren't open. If you go into a turquoise county and can go into a bar and just randomize, say, hey, give me the top 2 teams I'll bet you beer. The top 2 teams, you don't even have to give me the order, in the NBA's Western Conference. I'm going to guess you're going to receive more beers than you buy because the answer is Utah and Phoenix. Utah and Phoenix. It's not Lakers. It's not Clippers. It's not Portland or Dallas or even Denver. It is number 1 Utah, number 2 Phoenix. Like what? And by the way, that's the top 2 teams in the NBA. Utah and effing Phoenix. Oh, I'm sorry, PHing Phoenix. That's PHing.
PHX.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Phoenixing. And what I love about it, too, is those markets. Well, there's history, of course, in Salt Lake City, but that ain't a destination. Phoenix has been so bad, but they haven't been a destination. Like, Devin Booker was a draft pick. DeAndre Ayton was a draft pick. But it still shows you, man, in this game, yes, it's superstars are going to decide the league. And ultimately, you're going to have your teams that form, and it happens. But we're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee, Donovan Mitchell in Salt Lake City, Devin Booker in Phoenix. Like, this is fantastic for the league to have teams that are this good in these markets with star players battling the Brooklyn Nets, going to war with the Los Angeles Lakers. It's good for the game.
Right now, the 1 seed is Utah, the 2 seed is Phoenix. And Utah's a game and a half clear of Phoenix. And then Phoenix is 3 games clear of the Clippers. Then Denver's 4. The Lakers are 5. Lakers are 5. And again, I've told you this a lot. I don't care where the Lakers are. Lakers could come out of the 6 hole. The Lakers could come out of the 1 hole. If they're healthy, if they got LeBron James and Anthony Davis healthy, they are the favorites to win this whole thing. I firmly believe that. Now, on the other side, the Nets are still the number 1 seed. Does it matter seeding there? Because, I'll tell you straight, the same thing with the Nets that I feel about the Lakers. I don't care where they're seated. If they've got Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant healthy, they can come out of the 6 hole or the 1 hole. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, seeding doesn't matter for those 2 teams. They don't. It doesn't.
Does it matter for everybody else? Does it matter for Philly and Milwaukee, who are 2 and 3?
I think it ultimately it does, especially in the Western Conference, because I would much rather be a higher up seed and then playing one of the teams that had to come through that little play-in tournament with some of the questions, whether it's a Dallas or Portland. Like, you never want to see Dame Lillard in the postseason because it's an uncomfortable feeling. But I'd rather be going down that path than having to really go after one of the big dogs early in the postseason.
All right. And we're right now dealing with a league where you can give me an argument that 4 of the 5 best players in the league are injured. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and James Harden are all out with injuries. I would say, I mean, I would put those guys in the 4 of the 5 best with Kevin Durant. I mean, am I leaving? I mean, I guess Kawhi Leonard. I mean, you can always make this conversation, but arguably 4 of the 5 best players in the league are injured.
Yeah, unfortunate they're on the sidelines right now.
Yep, Kevin Durant just came back. So I mean, if you're watching it, then there's good stuff. If you want to watch it, you can pick off a game every single night. You know, I'm gonna be with some NBA people, and I'm gonna learn about the Washington Wizards a lot this weekend. I'm not sure that's much I want to learn about.
What? Denny Avdia, the resurgence of Robin Lopez.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Bradley Beal. Speaking of guy that was injured, returned to the lineup yesterday.
Take that mess away. Let me watch the Masters.
Russell Westbrook, phenomenal 2-week run.
Interesting dynamic because it's going to be NBA guy and the Masters is on. I'm like, really, dude? Like we're going to sit around and watch this crap and the Masters is on?
Different spectrum.
It's just this is where my life's going to be the next couple of days.
Or you could show up and be like, man, what do you think of Avdia? I really like him. I think he's good. And then you can let him talk for 5 minutes as you watch the Masters.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let me just watch the Masters for crying out loud. All right, I'll get you a leaderboard update when we get back. You can jump in at any point you want. On the Sean Miller conversation, on I mean, like, what took so long? On the Kevin Durant stuff, I'm still really curious, and you could play this into what is your, what venue in college football have you always wanted to go to? Is it the Big House? Is it the Rose Bowl? Is it LSU? Is it Tennessee? Notre Dame, I guess. I don't know. Is there one that like, if you one, JJ, not just one that the Lobos are going to, but is there one college football venue that you would want to go to? Like, you can go to any game, you can go to any venue next year. It's going to be full capacity. Where would it be?
Any game. Iron Bowl is up there.
Yeah, buddy. In Tuscaloosa or Auburn, or does it matter to you?
At that point, I don't think it would matter.
Okay.
But I think I'd like to see Tuscaloosa. That's about.
Yeah, I've been to that one. I'd like to see USC Notre Dame at Notre Dame. I want to go to Notre Dame Stadium. That's one I've never been to. I want to go to Knoxville. I've just heard unbelievable things. But I think if you were going to make me choose one, and I'd love to go to the Georgia-Alabama game, but I'm sorry, the Georgia-Florida game. But I think if there was one I was going to go to, I would take a night game in Death Valley, LSU against, Alabama or something along those lines. I'd love to go to that atmosphere. I think that might be the one that I haven't been to yet that I would want to go to. 505-246-0610. Where are you on it? 888-922-0610. So Dr. Stephen Coleman is the best in the business when it comes to LASIK surgery. That's who did my LASIK back in 2003, and I still, on an every single day basis, reap the benefits of that. I don't wear lenses. I don't wear contacts. I was wearing glasses since I was in high school. But I was tired of it, and I went to see Dr. Coleman. Had a high degree of astigmatism, had the surgery, and it was fantastic. It changed my life. Who does LASIK? Who is a candidate? Well, anybody can be a candidate, whether you're a pro athlete or a housewife or a student or a doctor or a nurse or a police officer or just you and me. You go into Coleman Vision and you're going to realize that. Anybody can be a candidate, and you'll find out after you go see Dr. Coleman. And he'll tell you straight up if you're not a candidate and what some of your options are. Dr. Stephen Coleman is in on developing the latest cutting-edge technology in LASIK surgery that is used around the globe. And for years, people have come from everywhere to Albuquerque to have their LASIK done at Coleman Vision. He's been in private practice, specializing in LASIK his entire career. Dr. Coleman changed my life. And not only that, he's become a dear friend. And I can't suggest Coleman Vision anymore. If you are thinking about LASIK, you're thinking maybe you're a candidate, you want to learn about it, there's one place, and that's Coleman Vision. Go see what they're all about. Go to colemanvision.com and then call and make an appointment. 505-821-8880. That's 821-8880. It's Coleman Vision. Seeing is believing, and I believe.
11-4 game, 4.9 seconds to go in the first quarter. Bring up the court, Mays going inside, drawing contact, and one opportunity.
An attack. Oh, that's a great inbound play. Lavato puts it up, blocked beautifully by Heckrop. Blocked beautifully. Shot at the buzzer's up, and it's good. It's good by number 5, Devin Domino Lovato for 3. That will count.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog! Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your
green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm
No Americans at the top of the leaderboard. You've got Siwoo Kim, Corey Connors from Canada, and Christian Badenhout, South African. All at -2 early. Kim and Connors have just finished their first 9. Other names that are up there: Abraham Answer, Hideki Matsuyama, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, and Patrick Reed, all -1. Jason Days dropped to even. Brooks Koepka even. Victor Hovland up to even. Webb Simpson, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, and since somebody called for it earlier, your Daniel Berger update, even. Lee Westwood is +2. Just looking for some big names. You asked about Danny Willett earlier, +1. Bubba's +1 after 6. Dylan Fratelli back up to +2. JJ, here he comes.
Charging.
That's
into
right.
the back 9.
Sergio, +3. Fratelli's played 15 holes. Opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. So you'll get the you get your Masters all day long. And I thought you were going somewhere. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say something dumb, but I don't need to go there now.
Oh, say dumb things. I like dumb things.
Look, I don't care about Thursday at the Masters. Who wants to watch Thursday at the Masters?
Give me
I'll take
Sunday.
Sunday at the Masters.
That's fair. No, it's fair. It's absolutely fair. Sunday, there's
No,
so
I love
few things like
days like this. Major golf, back and forth, constant action. It is phenomenal. I do got some news to drop on you though.
What do you
Jeff.
got? Yeah.
Found out yesterday because I went off a little bit earlier this week. I'm talking about Mountain West soccer because yes, that's where we're going now. When they were the Mountain West Women's Soccer Championship game, it was to
You
be
did go off
determined
about that.
neutral site. Well, a little birdie told me that the Mountain West made a decision a couple days ago that the team with the best record will host the Mountain West Championship game next Saturday. And why that matters, well, of course, New Mexico has already clinched the Mountain Division, so they're in the Mountain West title game. And if they win one game this weekend, they got Wyoming Friday, Colorado State on Sunday. They win one game, they will host the Mountain West Championship game next weekend.
And that puts a little juice on these two games then, right? Because instead of just kind of going through these friendlies, but they're not friendlies, puts a little juice on it. San Diego State leading on the other side, is that right?
San Diego State is leading. That is still open, but it looks like the Aztecs will lock that down. So there's a chance. If the Lobos drop both games and San Diego State wins both games, well, then the Aztecs will be hosting. But it comes down to one win locks the spot up because outside of record and total points, it goes to goal differential. And you're looking at a Lobos team this season through 8 games that has scored 20 goals and given up 2. So they're pretty good in goal differential.
Do we have a? I know we talked about this. Do we have a request out to Heather Dyke? Is it pretty hard to get her on our show?
No,
or?
We're trying to clear something up. There's a little miscommunication with one of the players. We're hoping to get a player on today. But yeah, absolutely. There's no problem getting in contact with Heather. So
yeah, let's try to get someone tomorrow. And going into this weekend, I don't know what I think. So if the women's soccer team is playing for the championship at a bid in the NCAA tournament next Saturday at home, understanding that it would be limited capacity, would you max out your limit on capacity? Would people come out for that?
I would hope so. And the soccer community showing out in a fantastic moment to be playing for an NCAA tournament berth, a league championship in this season, that they've handled everything that's thrown at them. And there's some fantastic stories. So hopefully we can, over the next few days, get some of the players, at least voices out there, because especially Gwen Malley. Gwen Malley is a senior that's been with this program since 2016. She's tied for the leading goal scored with 6 with Alicia Garcia on this team. and she would not have played this season if it wasn't moved to the spring. So she's someone that actually benefited from the postponement because she wasn't cleared to return from her torn ACL until January. And she wouldn't have sought a medical redshirt year because she is eyeing medical school after this. So she would have lost her entire season in a normal year. So that's one of the few positive stories to arise out of all these things moving, is a player like that able to have this season.
Yeah, I just it interests me quite a bit actually, because I'm just curious with everything that soccer's been through, this community in soccer and the UNM soccer community has been through. Will people show up next week? And I'm going to assume that it's going to be at home. If they just need to win one out of these two, I'm going to assume that gets done. I know that's a bad assumption. I've seen way more bizarre things happen over my time than that. But it'll be interesting to see where it is. I'd love to talk to one of the players tomorrow. I'm going to try to get Nick at 9 o'clock, and then let's see if we can do something soccer-wise around that as we have our pre-production meeting right here on the air. But I just what Heather's done with that program, there's something to being local. And look, this is where it's, see, I told you they hired somebody local and see what it did. They should have done that for basketball. Everything's different. And you can always give me an example of it works and it doesn't work. I'll give you North Carolina with Bill Guthridge, and then they went with Doherty and it didn't work. And you'll give me something that did. And so everything stands on its own. But what she's done is really, really nice with that program. Amidst everything that's gone on with soccer at UNM, that program has held steady and gotten better.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it, too, is not just about you're hiring, quote-unquote, local. It's what resume do they bring to the table. And the thing with Heather is she has some of the highest coaching licenses that's available for a coach. She works with U.S. Women's National Team, youth development in those cases. And, oh, by the way, yeah, she just happens to be an Albuquerque native, which makes it that much better. When she came back to work with this program that has gotten better every year with her here. And it just highlights, too, the soccer talent in this state is fantastic and is continuing to grow.
Yeah, no, I think all of that's right, and she's just got such a good demeanor and gets it, if that makes any sense. And I always use that
music
she gets
one.
it thing, whatever it is. All right, man, good day. Enjoy the golf today, or whatever it is you're going to do. You can watch the soccer, you can watch the hoops or the basketball. I'm not going to tell you what to like, man.
I got a little A3A Boys State soccer game coming up at 2 o'clock.
Who you got?
Siembieda, Prep, and Bosque. District rivals meeting for a state title today.
And it'll be on ProView. Enjoy that. Aaron, good work always. Thanks for everything. Bob, we'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks for keeping us on track. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd after that. Sports Bar with Trulio and Carlisle. More local sports talk this afternoon at 3. And then we'll be back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.